Chapter 1893. Xiao Qian found the right opportunity and struck like a bolt of lightning. It was effective in an instant. With one look, it was clear that this demonic Dao cultivator was good at controlling all sorts of demonic creatures. He had strong soul energy, but his physical defense was relatively weak. Furthermore, with Xiao Qian's firmament's rage, even with defensive Dao tools and secret techniques, Xiao Qian's firmament's rage would not be able to withstand it. Even if all of them were hit, it would be hard for him to escape death. Boom! As demonic venerate Mu Yun watched in despair, Xiao Qian's palm strike landed. The saber intent covering his palm instantly riddled his body with holes. The power of thunder exploded violently, and the giant palm fell with a loud rumble. His entire body was smashed into nothingness on the spot. Without a head, he could only gather the remnant souls around him as proof that he had completed the mission. However, when Xiao Qian landed on the ground and radiated his soul power, he frowned slightly. No, there wasn't a single remnant soul in the surroundings. It didn't seem like someone had died here. With Xiao Qian's current cultivation, it was impossible that he couldn't find a single remnant soul when he spread out his soul power. There was only one possibility. Demonic venerate Mu Yun was not dead yet. The one he killed was just a clone. The ghost streamer on the ground suddenly flew up, and the blood prison demonic dragon and many smaller demonic dragons quickly entered the ghost streamer. The ghost streamer moved as fast as lightning, turning into a beam of light and fleeing far away. Boom! A sand dune in the distance exploded. Demonic venerate Mu Yun leaped out and landed on the ghost pennant, quickly fleeing into the distance. When Yun Tianhe and the white dragon maiden landed on the ground, they looked deeply at Xiao Qian with lingering fear. When Xiao Qian was trapped earlier, he had a narrow escape. Fortunately, he had received Situ Changfeng's guidance. Otherwise, not to mention escaping, he would not even be able to protect himself. Even when the five of them worked together, they could not defeat such a horrifying demonic venerate. Yet, the moment Xiao Qian appeared, he scared off demonic venerate Mu Yun. How could they not be shocked? Brother Xiao Qian, thank you for saving me. Situ Changfeng walked over tiredly and thanked him softly. Xiao Qian didn't feel good accepting this gratitude. He shook his head and said, "Not really. I'm just doing it for myself. Brother Situ, you don't have to be so polite. I still have to chase after this demonic venerate Mu Yun, so I'll take my leave first." Right after Xiao Qian spoke, he did not want to waste any more time. Without waiting for Situ to reply, he quickly chased after demonic venerate Mu Yun. This fellow is truly abominable. He waited until we fought to the death with demonic venerate Mu Yun before making a move. Now that demonic venerate Mu Yun is injured, he is ungrateful and immediately left. Seeing Xiao Qian leave, Yun Tianhe was extremely dissatisfied with the fact that he was trapped. He also wanted to chase after them, but unfortunately, his strength was not enough. However, in his current state, he was incomparably weak. There was no way for him to forcefully chase after them. However, Xiao Qian's words were rather interesting. It was as if he had forgotten that he had watched Murong Yin and demonic venerate Mu Yun fight for a long time before deciding to make a move. Situ Changfeng frowned slightly and said, "These are all minor matters. However, although this demonic venerate Mu Yun is injured, it is still very risky to give chase alone. Unfortunately, we still let him escape. If we had detained him earlier, we could have killed him," Qiu Xiuying said with some dissatisfaction as she looked into the distance. Situ Changfeng smiled and said, "There is no need to find it unfortunate. This demonic venerate Mu Yun is not as strong as we imagined. It is just that we do not understand him well enough. The next time we meet him, we just need to recruit a cultivator good at archery and a beast controller. We can easily defeat him. Alternatively, we can recruit a dragon race cultivator good at mental attacks. One of them can defeat him. Where's demonic venerate Mu Yun?" Just at this moment, Murong Yin and his two junior brothers, who had been sent out of the battlefield, rushed over anxiously. Yun Tianhe and Qiu Xiuying glanced at Murong Yin. However, they were not in the mood to bother with him. They closed their eyes and sat down cross-legged to recuperate. Sidhu Changfeng went over and gave a rough account of what happened. "It's that mixed-blood dragon again." Feeling upset, Murong Yin asked sullenly, "Which direction did he go?" Sidhu Changfeng felt helpless. After thinking for a while, he pointed in the opposite direction. After him, Murong Yin did not hesitate to lead his two junior brothers in a mad dash, kicking up a trail of sand and dust. Yun Tianhe slowly opened his eyes and looked at the distant Murong Yin. Then, he closed his eyes again and said indifferently, "Idiot." At this moment, Xiao Chun, who was chasing demonic venerate Mu Yun, stood on a sand dune. When Xiao Chun looked into the distance, he could no longer see demonic venerate Mu Yun's figure. There was not even a lingering aura. He truly lives up to being a demon venerate who dared to charge into the divine dragon empire alone. He really has many backup plans, Xiao Chun said faintly. He was also a little impressed in his heart. He was cunning enough, had many tricks up his sleeve, and handled matters cautiously. When he escaped, he did not forget to remove the aura he left behind. It was indeed difficult to deal with. However, the more it was so, the more Xiao Chun wanted to chase after it. The various signs showed that this demonic venerate Mu Yun was truly injured. The destruction of his clone had significantly affected his main body. Otherwise, he wouldn't have run away. Even if demonic venerate Mu Yun had set up a diversion, he would have left behind some clues to lure his pursuers. If Xiao Chun did not deal with demonic venerate Mu Yun while he was injured this time, he would be even harder to deal with next time. Xiao Chun took out the death god mask and put it on. Then he closed his eyes and executed the demonic cloud heaven swallowing art with a thought. Whoosh! Demonic clouds filling the sky immediately gathered in the sky, continuously spreading out to the front. As the demonic clouds churned, they covered 500 kilometers in one breath. This was much faster than Xiao Chen's movement technique. The demonic clouds in the sky were like Xiao Chen's eyes. Everywhere he passed, he could see everything clearly under the demonic clouds. It was even clearer than what one could see with the naked eye. Every grain of sand on the ground could be clearly distinguished. More importantly, these demonic clouds were extremely sensitive to the auras of demonic Dao cultivators. As long as Xiao Chun discovered one, he could immediately lock onto the target. As the demonic clouds spread out, the clouds gradually thinned, reducing the drain on veritable essence energy. Although Xiao Chen's veritable essence energy could not cover an entire great realm like the Scarlet Blood Pirate Kings, it was still incredibly dense. However, it could still cover millions of kilometers. Furthermore, Xiao Chun could consume primeval heavenly pills to replenish his drain at any time. Demonic venerate Mu Yun, who had already fled far away, since that there were no pursuers within 5,000 kilometers. Furthermore, demonic venerate Mu Yun had completely erased his aura along the way. A holy venerate would not be able to discover any traces at all, unless it was a sovereign personage. However, based on the information that demonic venerate Mu Yun obtained, the Dragon's Gate had not raised the rank of the mission to absolute rank yet. That way, no sovereign personage experts would come, and demonic venerate Mu Yun could rest easy. Damn it, to think that a mixed-blood dragon spoiled my plans. Demonic venerate Mu Yun leaped out of the ghost pennant and cursed as he held the ghost pennant. As demonic venerate Mu Yun spoke, he could not help coughing a few times. The destruction of his demonic Dao clone had inflicted significant damage to his main body. Most importantly, his soul energy was damaged, preventing him from maintaining control over the thousands of small demonic dragons and the blood prison demonic dragon with a horrifying might. If demonic venerate Mu Yun persisted, when these demonic creatures saw that he was weakened, they would definitely attack him and destroy him. However, it does not matter. After some time, my blood prison demonic dragon will advance further and will be able to materialize in endless hell. At that time, even if a sovereign personage comes, I will not be afraid. When I return to the demon royal halls, my status will be even higher. Demonic venerate Mu Yun said seriously, a fanatical look flashing in his eyes. That's not right. Why do I feel like someone is targeting me? Suddenly, demonic venerate Mu Yun looked up and was shocked to discover that demonic clouds had gathered above him at some point in time. Someone of the demonic Tao. Demonic venerate Mu Yun grasped the ghost pennant in his hand tightly with his right hand. His eyes showed uncertainty as he raised his guard. Whoosh! Xiao Chun, who was far away, suddenly opened his eyes. A pair of demonic eyes appeared in the demonic clouds that gathered above demonic venerate Mu Yun in the sky. Might I ask which expert you are? Since we are on the same path, why not show yourself? Demonic venerate Mu Yun asked somewhat nervously, praying that the person who came was not too strong. No one answered him. The pair of eyes that appeared in the demonic clouds glanced at him before vanishing silently. Whoosh! Xiao Chun turned into a flash of lightning and merged with the demonic clouds. His speed immediately increased by more than 100 times. In merely one breath, he rushed over. Boom! A bolt of lightning descended from the clouds and struck a sand dune. Then, Xiao Chun appeared on the sand dune and looked coldly at demonic venerate Mu Yun. Demonic clouds gathered from all directions, churning like the tide. The demonic clouds became thinner and thicker. The demonic might in the sky slowly strengthened. Under the demonic might, the air turned viscous. No wind could move it. I am the blood prison demonic palace's demonic venerate Mu Yun. Why are you here? If it is for the dragon blood, I can give you half of what I have. Xiao Chun, who wore the death god mask, had his aura isolated. Demonic venerate Mu Yun could not see through Xiao Chun at all. He only found Xiao Chun mysterious and unfathomable. His expression immediately turned extremely grave. That mask looked exquisite. There were 2 rows of mysterious scriptures on the white mask. With one glance, one found it strange and felt fear in one's heart. If one continued to look, one would feel fear in one's heart, not daring to continue looking. Sir, don't be too greedy. Half of the dragon blood is already my greatest concession. Demonic venerate Mu Yun snorted coldly, and the ghost pennant in his hand fell heavily. An overwhelming demonic might surged out from his body. I don't want your dragon blood. What do you want? I can give you whatever I can. Everything is negotiable. I'll kill you. When demonic venerate Mu Yun heard that, he immediately became enraged. He waved the ghost pen in his hand and said, "This old man has been enduring for so long. You really think that I am easy to bully? Die." The blood prison demonic dragon darted out of the banner like a bolt of lightning, carrying an even stronger demonic dragon might as it swept toward Xiao Chun. As Xiao Chun sensed the vast demonic clouds in the sky, he could look down on the surroundings without moving. It was a wonderful feeling to look down on the world. Looking at the charging blood prison demonic dragon, Xiao Chun sneered. The Cheongqi ghost streamer appeared in his hand. With a slight wave, Cheongqi, a prehistoric fierce beast, flew out. Soul Tool. Demonic venerate Mu Yun was startled. In his fluster, he tried to summon back the blood prison demonic dragon. Unfortunately, it was too late. Boom! The blood prison demonic dragon instantly clashed with the great desolate Ian Cheongqi in the air. After clashing for a while, the ferocious beast tore the blood prison demonic dragon into pieces. Demonic venerate Mu Yun screamed in pain. His complexion paled, devoid of blood. "Withdraw!" Xiao Chun shouted, not wanting to overuse this Cheongqi ghost streamer. The ferocious beast roared ferociously, shaking the surroundings before reluctantly returning to the banner. Bang! The ferocious beast's roar directly knocked demonic venerate Mu Yun into the air. When demonic venerate Mu Yun landed on the ground, he secretly held a talisman and silently circulated his secret art, making one last gamble. However, his face still showed horror and despair. As long as this person comes over, I can instantly reverse the situation. I still have a chance. I still have a chance. Whoosh! Clearly, this was just demonic venerate Mu Yun's wishful thinking. Then, Xiao Chun took out the god shadow bow and used the last of his soul energy to shoot an arrow. The instant Xiao Chun let go, the arrow stabbed into demonic venerate Mu Yun's chest, bringing him back to life. Demonic venerate Mu Yun's meridian shattered, and his soul scattered. His life force drained in that instant. Whoosh! Xiao Chen's figure flashed as he removed his mask. Then, he looked at demonic venerate Mu Yun expressionlessly. However, he still did not approach. After Xiao Chun verified that demonic venerate Mu Yun was truly dead, he walked over and took a look. Then, he swung his saber and chopped off demonic venerate Mu Yun's head. Xiao Chun successfully completed the first mission. Chapter 1894. Xiao Chun took the head and destroyed the ghost pennant. After using 2 soul tools in a row, Xiao Chun felt somewhat uncomfortable. Although he had only brought out a small portion of his soul tool's might, he had drained Xiao Chen's soul energy. However, this also drained his soul energy. His mind was fatigued, and his complexion paled. Actually, Xiao Chun could have killed this demonic venerate Mu Yun without using a soul tool. After all, this person was already severely injured in the first place and had drained a lot of his soul energy. However, it would be hard to avoid spending more time, and there might be some variables. After putting away this person's storage ring, Xiao Chun returned the way he came, not rushing or slowing down. Then, he recuperated and recuperated. Xiao Chun recovered his exhausted soul energy and dealt with uncontrollable accidents. 1 hour later, Murong Yin rushed back with his 2 junior brothers. He said angrily, "Damn it, this demonic venerate Mu Yun ran too far away. There are no traces of him at all." Yin Tianhe and Xiaoying slowly stood up. They knew what was going on, but they showed no intention of explaining anything to Murong Yin. Yin Tianhe looked at Situ Changfeng and asked, "Changfeng, what do you think of Xiao Chen's chances of catching up to demonic venerate Mu Yun and killing him after that? If Xiao Chen dealt with demonic venerate Mu Yun, there would be no need for them to continue wasting time here." Facing the Red Dragon race displeased him. If someone snatched away the mission, Xiao Chen would immediately leave this place and go as far as he could. Xiaoying also looked at Situ Changfeng, waiting for his answer. Situ Changfeng entered deep thought. Then he said, if he can catch up, he should have an 80% chance of killing demonic venerate Mu Yun. Demonic venerate Mu Yun has drained a lot of his soul energy and is severely injured. If he does not have any trump cards, only death awaits him. After all, he is facing someone who successfully cultivated Firmament's Rage. However, whether or not we can catch up to him is a question. Since this person left behind a demonic path avatar as a backup, it's impossible. Since this person left behind a demonic Dao clone as a backup, he must have thought about how to escape after the clone was destroyed. Murong Yin nodded at the side and said seriously, "That's right. He did not leave behind any aura at all. I even used the Sex Dao tool for tracking demonic qi. In the end, I did not find any clues at all. That Xiao Chun will not be able to find him, either. Violent Flame Desert is boundless." Yin Tianhe and the White Dragon Girl had weird expressions on their faces, but they still didn't say anything. "What's with your expressions? Did I say anything wrong?" Murong Yin demanded angrily when he saw Yin Tianhe and Xiaoying's strange expressions. Situ Changfeng quickly smoothed things over. He smiled and said, "That makes sense. Let's do it this way then. Let's go first. We can't just wait here for Xiao Chun. Leave a jade slip and tell him where we're going to stay. When he comes back, he can meet up with us." Murong Yin said disdainfully, "The next time we meet this demonic venerate Mu Yun, we will need the help of a mixed blood dragon. I already have a countermeasure." "I'm afraid your countermeasure is useless." A bolt of lightning descended from the clouds in the sky. Then, Xiao Chun revealed himself and slowly walked over. "I already killed demonic venerate Mu Yun." Astonishment flashed in Yun Tianhe's and the White Dragon Maiden's eyes. This development startled Murong Yin. He said sullenly, "That's impossible. My senior brother and I searched 500,000 kilometers to the northwest and did not find the aura that demonic venerate Mu Yun left behind. How could you have found him?" "Northwest." Xiao Chun revealed a doubtful expression. He glanced at Situ Changfeng and roughly understood the reason. Then he took out demonic venerate Mu Yun's head and said, "His head is here. Do you still not believe me? Senior brother, it really is demonic venerate Mu Yun's head." The two red dragon cultivators could not help exclaiming when they saw it clearly. Murong Yin immediately felt extremely upset. To think that a mixed blood dragon, whom he looked down on the most, killed demonic venerate Mu Yun in his own territory. This was simply a slap to his face. Murong Yin simply could not accept this. His rage surged up and down. "Senior brother, in any case, you took revenge for our red dragon brothers. In the future, this violent flame desert will be safe. In the end, this is a good thing." The other person tried to console Murong Yin. Demonic venerate Mu Yun had killed hundreds of red dragon disciples. The red dragon race already hated him to the bone and wanted to kill him. If the red dragon race could not complete the mission, they would send out their own elders to complete it. However, the elders in the sect were all sovereign personages. They were very useful and could not be easily mobilized. Naturally, it would be best if the elders could not be mobilized. Murong Yin calmed down for a while before he regained his composure. Then, he gave Xiaochen a deep look. "Consider this my red dragon races, thanks to you. This old man has not thanked a mixed blood dragon before. You should feel honored." Murong Yin took out a jade bottle and tossed it to Xiaochen. Then, he turned around and led his two junior brothers away. Xiaochen gently grasped the jade bottle and opened it. It was filled with primeval heavenly pills, about 3,000 of them. If it were in the past, Murong Yin's words would have upset Xiaochen. Xiaochen would not have let him leave so easily. Now it did not matter. Xiaochen could tell that this Murong Yin's intelligence was somewhat lacking. There was no need to lower himself to his level. "Congratulations, Brother Xiao," Sidu Changfeng said with a cupped fist salute as he walked over. Although Qiu Xiuying and Yun Tianhe were reluctant, they still came over to congratulate Xiaochen. "You are too polite. Although I killed this demonic venerate Mu Yun by myself, I would not have been able to kill him so easily without the help of the three of you. Hence, I did not complete this mission alone. The reward is a total of 10,000 primeval heavenly pills." Xiaochen's words stunned Situ, Changfeng, and the other two. After a pause, Xiaochen continued, "Originally, I only wanted 5,000 primeval heavenly pills and split the rest evenly among the three of you. However, since Murong Yin left, I will keep 7,000. Of the 3,000 primeval heavenly pills, each of you will get 1,000. As Xiaochen spoke, he took out the primeval heavenly pills he had and distributed them to the three. Primeval heavenly pills were good stuff. Although the core disciples of the other outer palaces had high stipends, receiving at least 2,000 primeval heavenly pills a month, or 3,000 or 4,000 at most, no one would complain about having too many primeval heavenly pills. However, no one would complain about having too many primeval heavenly pills. They all accepted the primeval heavenly pills with smiles. "This is the first time I feel somewhat guilty." Situ Changfeng smiled, but still accepted the primeval heavenly pills. There was no need to be overly pretentious at this moment. "Goodbye." Xiaochen acted decisively. He still had 3 major missions to attend to and could not delay for too long. After dealing with the demonic venerate mission, he had to rush to the next one. As Situ Changfeng watched Xiaochen leave, he sighed. He left in such a rush. I still wanted to chat with him along the way. However, I do not have a chance to do so. Huh, could it be that you want to befriend him? Although this person is pretty good, he is still a mixed blood dragon in the end. He will not amount to much. There is no need to waste time on him. Yun Tianhe smiled faintly. Although he did not show his disdain on his face like Murong Yin did when facing a mixed blood dragon, the pride on his face remained. After saying that, Yun Tianhe took his leave. Qiu Xiuying and Situ Changfeng said their goodbyes and quickly followed Yun Tianhe. Mixed blood dragons, mixed blood dragons, mixed blood dragons are the most common in the Empire. Was the Black Dragon King's lesson not enough? Situ Changfeng smiled bitterly, feeling somewhat helpless. Back then, when the Black Dragon King waved his hand, most of the mixed-blood dragons in the Divine Dragon Empire followed him, going on an expedition to the abyssal underworld. When the Black Dragon King became the prime of the underworld monarch, he nearly destroyed the entire Divine Dragon Empire. However, that period of history was too distant. The Divine Dragon descendants of the current empire had already forgotten it. Thinking of the Black Dragon King, Situ Chanfeng suddenly felt excited, comparing Shao Chun to the Black Dragon King. In the future, if this Shao Chun waved his hand and called for help, how many mixed blood dragons would follow him? Situ Chanfeng also felt that his thoughts were a little ridiculous. Situ Chanfeng leaped into the air, using the sky as his will, the wind as his wings, and the clouds as his body. Then, he turned into a dragon in the sky and soared far away. Soon, he overtook Yin Tianhe and Xiao Xiaoying, who were still in a daze in the clouds in the sky. Blazing Sun Valley. This was one of the famous danger lands of the Divine Dragon Empire, located in Blazing Sun County. This Blazing Sun County was the territory of the Golden Dragon bloodline. Shao Chun used the transportation formations between the counties and the light of freedom to travel in the clouds. After 7 days, he arrived at this place. There were more than 10,000 ferocious beasts in Blazing Sun Valley. Many of them had overlord-class bloodlines and were known to be unrivaled within the same cultivation realm. Fortunately, the Blazing Sun Berserk ape that Shao Chun wanted to kill was not an overlord-class ferocious beast. However, it was still very difficult to deal with. It was a middle-stage Holy Venerate. Normally, it would be unrivaled among middle-stage Holy Venerates in pairs. However, this was not the scariest thing. The scariest thing was that this Blazing Sun Berserk ape had a Berserk bloodline. After it entered a Berserk state, it could burst out with the strength of a late-stage Holy Venerate. This mission could only be accomplished with intelligence, not brute force. The only good news was that ferocious beasts were ferocious beasts, after all. Unless they were like the six-tailed heavenly fox, they were much less intelligent than humans. As long as one was not stupid, one would be able to think of a way to deal with them. 3 days later, Shao Chun found the aura of a Blazing Sun Berserk ape in the perilous Blazing Sun Valley. However, what surprised Shao Chun was that someone had already started fighting with the Blazing Sun Berserk ape. Chapter 1895. Someone beat me to it? This was something unexpected. After all, this mission was not like the earlier assassination mission, which was not shared with the other palaces. Given this, it could only be that someone else wanted to obtain this Blazing Sun Berserk ape's beast core. The Blazing Sun Berserk ape possessed a Berserk bloodline. Its beast core was very valuable and could be refined into a medicinal pill with a Berserk effect. If one could reduce or eliminate the side effects, then the refined medicinal pill would tempt even Shao Chun. Just think about it. It could instantly raise one's cultivation by several times. That was simply horrifying. Even if there were some side effects, it could be used as a trump card to turn the tide at a critical moment. It was still very attractive. After withdrawing his aura, Shao Chun silently appeared on a mountain peak. Then he opened his heavenly eye. The heavenly eye soared into the sky and hid in the clouds. Immediately, Shao Chun saw the scene of that person fighting the Blazing Sun Berserk ape. That person fought 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes alone on the lava-covered land without being at a disadvantage. That person wore golden dragon robes and a purple gold crown on his head. He also wore several rings with gems embedded on his fingers. That person exuded a noble aura. Strands of golden dragon chi circled his body. That person's cultivation was not high, only early-stage Holy Venerate. However, his aura and the air that he gave off were stronger than several late-stage Holy Venerates that Shao Chun had seen before. The 6-colored divine dragons, the Golden Dragon race. Shao Chun muttered to himself. The Golden Dragon race was the strongest of the 6-colored divine dragons. The current Dragon Emperor, who was also the Dragon's Gate's master, was the current Dragon Emperor. The Golden Dragon Emperor held supreme authority in the Divine Dragon Empire, and his strength was incredibly horrifying. Naturally, the overall strength of the Golden Dragon race was higher than that of the other 5 races. Without the corresponding strength, one could not take the position of Dragon Emperor. The other 5 races were not people to be trifled with. When the 2 blazing sun berserk apes worked together, their strength equaled that of a late-stage holy venerate. Furthermore, they did not go berserk. If they went berserk, their overall strength would be even higher. This person dared to fight 1 against 2. He was truly confident in his strength. Xiao Qun squinted and discovered that the 5 rings on the other party's hand were all inherited Dao tools. Looking at the golden dragon robe, it was also an inherited Dao treasure. In other words, this person could use the power of 6 great Daos. This Xiao Qun felt somewhat speechless. In reality, inherited Dao tools were even more useful than soul tools from a certain point of view. Xiao Qun could not bring out a soul tool at full power. He could only use it slightly and could not control it freely. As for inherited Dao tools, he could use them casually. As a holy venerate, he could easily bring out the full might of inherited Dao tools. With so many inherited Dao tools, it was no wonder this person was so confident, daring to barge into Blazing Sun Valley alone and fight 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes alone. The Blazing Sun Berserk ape was covered in long, fiery red fur. When it stood upright, its fur looked like it was on fire when it fought. Its body was as large as a small mountain, and it let out angry roars from time to time, causing the surrounding lava to explode. Terrifying waves of fire burst out and soared into the sky before turning into burning flames. When they fell, they were like blazing meteors, dazzling and resplendent. They crashed into the ground with a huge impact. This resulted in an even bigger explosion, and the surrounding waves of fire never stopped. That golden dragon race cultivator fought steadily, occasionally using his great Dao energy to easily resolve the various dangers, dealing with them calmly. Xiao Qun thought to himself, thinking of countermeasures. The reward for the Blazing Sun Valley mission was slightly less, only 8,000 primeval heavenly pills. However, to Xiao Qun, this was a huge sum. He absolutely could not give up on it. However, someone had already beaten him to his target, and the battle had gone on for a long time. Xiao Qun did not want to attract unnecessary trouble. Xiao Qun could only search for other targets. There were many ferocious beasts in Blazing Sun Valley. It would not be easy to find other Blazing Sun Berserk apes. For example, Xiao Qun had searched for the target before him for several days before finding it after much difficulty. If he was unlucky, he would have spent even more time. How unfortunate. Xiao Qun shook his head and left decisively to search for other Blazing Sun Berserk apes. For hours after Xiao Qun left, the 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes finally lost their patience and went berserk. Boom! The ground instantly cracked, turning into a sea of lava. Only a few places could stand. A strong and berserk aura spread out from the 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes. Their heavy breathing sounded ear-splitting like thunder. At this moment, the most suitable countermeasure was to put some distance between them. Xiao Qun could not clash head-on with the 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes. After this period, it would be time to reap the harvest. However, this young golden dragon race cultivator revealed a smile on his face. He did not show any signs of pulling away. Anticipation flashed in this young golden dragon race cultivator's eyes as he muttered, "They finally went berserk. I have been waiting for this moment for a long time already." This young golden dragon race cultivator did not move at all as he stood on the sea of flames. The 2 Berserk Blazing Sun Berserk apes charged at him without even thinking. Bang! 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 With every step the Blazing Sun Berserk apes took, they kicked up tsunami-like fiery splashes, shaking the surrounding 5,000 kilometers. Terrifying roars spread out, causing many ferocious beasts to flee in fear. Boom! Boom! The attacks of the 2 Blazing Sun Berserk apes landed on the golden dragon race cultivator at nearly the same time. His golden dragon robes glowed. The golden dragon motifs on his robes seemed to come to life, forming a golden dragon shield around him. Cassie, the dragon shield immediately shattered. The huge rebound knocked the two blazing sun berserk apes into the air. The two blazing sun berserk apes crashed into the sea of flames, kicking up large waves. When the waves fell, it looked like fire rained down from the sky. The two blazing sun berserk apes were severely injured. The earlier dragon shield seemed to have some trick to it. The stronger the attack, the more severe the injury. The auras of the severely injured blazing sun berserk apes instantly plummeted from their peak. They were even weaker than before they went berserk. Die then, the yellow-robed cultivator snorted coldly. Under his control, the shattered golden light in the air shattered. Under his control, the shattered golden light in the air carried the golden dragon's might as it flew out. Kassier, Kassier. Thousands upon thousands of incredibly sharp golden shards stabbed into the bodies of the two blazing sun berserk apes. The life force of the two blazing sun berserk apes immediately drained rapidly. It only took a moment for them to go from peak to end. The blazing sun berserk apes lost their patience, but so did the yellow-robed cultivator. He had never thought of dodging these berserk blazing sun berserk apes. The 5 gemstone rings on the yellow-robed cultivator's hands flashed at the same time. Then, 5 Tao discs appeared behind the yellow-robed cultivator. Layers of Tao might layered over each other, and his aura reached an incredible level. Then he punched. A 5-colored fist wind kicked up boundless waves, finishing off this dying blazing sun berserk ape. The yellow-robed cultivator revealed a smile after successfully retrieving the beast core. With 2 beast cores, it is time to search for the remaining blazing sun berserk apes. 2 days later, Xiao Qin's luck was pretty good. He found a pair of blazing sun berserk apes at the foot of a desolate mountain. He did not rush to make a move, patiently observing them. As he observed this pair of blazing sun berserk apes from afar, he kept his guard up against the other ferocious beasts in the valley. Xiao Qin had a hard time. For the past 3 days, he had been observing the 2 blazing sun berserk apes' every move in great detail. Xiao Qin was not like the golden dragon race cultivator, who was covered in inherited Tao tools. He could only be cautious and create the most suitable opportunity to attack. If only the demon blood vulture were here. With its speed and strength, it could easily lure one away for Xiao Qin. However, that did not matter. After observing for 3 days, Xiao Qin finally found an opportunity. The 2 blazing sun berserk apes did not always forage together. They also took turns to forage, but there was no pattern. On this day, the opportunity that Xiao Qin had found came. One of the blazing sun berserk apes came out alone again. However, it did not stray too far from its companion. As long as it roared, it would quickly receive a response. If Xiao Qin attacked head-on, the other blazing sun berserk ape would definitely sense it. Whoosh! Standing on a mound, Xiao Qin took out the Soul Slayer bow. Then, he drew back the bowstring and fired an arrow, striking the blazing sun berserk ape that went out to forage. That blazing sun berserk ape immediately became enraged and charged in the direction of the arrow. The other blazing sun berserk ape found this slightly strange. However, it did not sense any danger. Since its companion did not call out to it, it did not pay it any mind. Just like that, Xiao Qin leaped around the mountain, luring this blazing sun berserk ape further away. However, he still did not show himself. This drove this blazing sun berserk ape crazy. It's almost time. Xiao Qin smiled faintly and put away the Soul Slayer bow. Then, he turned into a bolt of lightning and shot into the clouds. In the next moment, Xiao Qin arrived before the blazing sun berserk ape that had been left behind. This blazing sun berserk ape already felt that something was wrong. Just as he was about to give chase, Xiao Qin suddenly appeared and launched an attack at him. Just like that, the distance between the 2 blazing sun berserk apes widened. As Xiao Qin dealt with the blazing sun berserk ape's pursuit, he carefully avoided the territories of some overlord-class ferocious beasts. He lured the blazing sun berserk ape to a remote area. For the past 3 days, Xiao Qin had been observing the actions of these 2 blazing sun berserk apes. However, his heavenly eye did not stop. He had already grasped the terrain and the ferocious beasts within 1,000,000 miles. Only by making ample preparations did this operation go smoothly. For hours later, Xiao Chun stopped on a vast piece of black land. He silently turned around and instantly executed Firmament's rage. Boom! The colossal palm carried the rage of a great desolate Aeon ancestor dragon as it descended from the sky. Its fingers were like sabers, flickering with electric light as it smashed at the blazing sun berserk ape chasing after him. That blazing sun berserk ape had never expected its prey, which had been fleeing, to suddenly attack. Caught off guard, the blazing sun berserk ape got struck by Firmament's rage. The blazing sun berserk ape's colossal body was smashed down in midair. The blazing sun berserk ape's coarse skin and thick flesh immediately became riddled with wounds. Electric light flickered endlessly as the blazing sun berserk ape lay on the ground, howling in pain. His anguished wails contained a shocking rage. Boom! The instant the blazing sun berserk ape got up, it suddenly entered a berserk state. A blood-like flame burned on its body. The blazing sun berserk ape stared straight at Xiao Chun, and a terrifying ferocious might pressed down on Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun's figure flashed, and the mountain behind him instantly shattered under this ferocious might, vanishing without a trace. It went berserk in advance. Xiao Chun frowned slightly. The situation before him somewhat surpassed his expectations. The main reason was that Firmament's rage was too mighty. The moment Xiao Chun attacked, it injured the blazing sun berserk ape, making it feel threatened. If the blazing sun berserk ape did not go berserk, its injuries would worsen, and it would have no chance of defeating Xiao Chun. However, that's fine. It will be fine after this period. After the blazing sun berserk ape went berserk, Xiao Chun was not willing to clash head-on with it. He would suffer greatly with every exchange. Using light of freedom's movement technique, Xiao Chun turned into lightning and continuously clashed with the blazing sun berserk ape. The blazing sun berserk ape swatted at Xiao Chun like it was swatting a fly. However, it could not land a hit on Xiao Chun. The horrifying attacks completely changed the landscape, turning it into a scene of desolation, riddled with thousands of holes. The ground cracked, covering 5,000 kilometers. Shattered rocks filled the air, covering the sun and sky. Boom! Just at a certain moment, Xiao Chun felt the blazing sun berserk ape's aura drop. The electric light turned into a lightning dragon, charging over with a boundless dragon might of thunder. The blazing sun berserk ape got knocked into the air. When it landed, it blasted out a huge pit. No matter how hard it tried, it could not stand up. Whoosh! The lightning dragon circled around, and Xiao Chun landed at the edge of the huge pit. Then, he looked coldly at this blazing sun berserk ape. After all, ferocious beasts were ferocious beasts. Their intelligence could not compare to that of cultivators. Of course, cultivators like Murong Yin did not count. In hindsight, Murong Yin was actually very similar to this blazing sun berserk ape. Just as Xiao Chun prepared to deliver the final strike with the tyrant saber, a disharmonious voice rang out behind him. Haha, not bad. This young master feels gratified that there's a talent like you among the mixed blood dragons. Step back, then. I want this blazing sun berserk ape's beast core. I, Qin Out Yin, owe you a favor. In the future, you can come to the Golden Dragon Palace to repay me. Chapter 1896. Qin Out Yin. Xiao Chun turned around and saw that it was the Golden Dragon Race cultivator that he noticed a few days ago. Based on this person's tone, this person seemed to have a great background in the Golden Dragon Palace and was rather famous in the Divine Dragon Empire. It seemed like as long as this person reported his name, many things could be easily resolved. Based on this person's attire and inherited Dao tools, this person clearly had the confidence to say such words. If it was someone else, they would be treated as an idiot if they said such a thing. This person spoke very logically, as if this was how it should be. Since I reported my name, you have to do as I say. I owe you a favor. In the future, you can come to the Golden Dragon Palace to repay me. However, Xiao Chun had not heard of this person before. In reality, he did not know many people in the Divine Dragon Empire, either. Xiao Chan was more concerned about something else. This person had stayed by his side for such a long time without making a single sound. This person should have planned this and observed him for a long time. For him to not notice him, he was indeed strong. However, this had to do with Xiao Chen's focus on the Blazing Sun Berserk Ape. After all, after that Blazing Sun Berserk Ape went berserk, it could severely injure him with a casual strike. Xiao Chun could not afford to be distracted. What's wrong? Are you not willing? Qin Outyin frowned, appearing dissatisfied. A trace of anger flashed on his face. Xiao Chan thought for a while before saying, "This mission is worth 8,000 primeval heavenly pills in the Heaven Dragon Palace. I do not know the price of failure. If you give me 8,000 primeval heavenly pills and personally write that you will bear the price of failure for me, I can give it to you." After thinking for a long time, Xiao Chan felt that he was rather sincere. After all, he did not need this Blazing Sun Berserk Ape's Beast Core. As long as the other party could satisfy his conditions, he would not mind giving it to the other party. "You want to negotiate with me?" Rage flared in Qin Outyin's eyes. 5 Dao discs of different colors appeared behind him. Layered Dao might spread out in the world. While Qin Outyin was in a daze, there seemed to be a vast nation behind him, raising his aura to an untouchable height. Even though they were at eye level, it gave off the illusion that they had to look up to him. Xiao Qin's expression did not change as he replied indifferently. "Naturally. How can I give you the Blazing Sun Berserk Ape's Beast Core if I do not negotiate a good condition? I won't take advantage of you, but I will at least make up for my losses. I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. This young master already said that I owe you a favor, yet you're still trying to bargain with me?" When Qin Outyin saw that Xiao Chun was unwilling to hand over the beast core, he immediately flew into a rage. Scram! When Xiao Chun punched, a 5-colored fist wind containing the great Tao energies of ice, fire, lightning, strong wind, holy light, and many other great Tao descended on him. When Xiao Chun saw this, he couldn't help but laugh involuntarily. It was all superficial knowledge. It looked like a grand display of power, but in reality, there was not a single specialization. Against ordinary people or ferocious beasts, its power was truly boundless. However, to anyone who had reached small perfection in great Tao energy, even if that Xiao Jinyu were here, they would be able to easily deal with this attack. As for Xiao Chun, it was even easier. Xiao Chun held the tyrant's saber with both hands as it landed quietly in front of him, touching the ground with its scabbard. As Xiao Chun watched the gale of gale descend, his expression fluctuated endlessly. When the densely packed gale of fist lights containing all sorts of great Tao energy landed, Xiao Chen's saber intent erupted. Strands of saber chi appeared out of nowhere and shot out of his physical body. Dang! 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 The saber chi scattered the thousands of gale of fist lights, not injuring Xiao Chun at all. More accurately, the attacks did not even get within 100 meters of him. An azure-colored Tao disc flickered behind Xiao Chun. It was as calm and peaceful as the wind, just like Xiao Chen's calm heart. He was neither arrogant nor rash, calm and unruffled. "Young Master Qin, don't push things too far," Xiao Chun said indifferently as he looked at Qin Outyin. Qin Outyin felt enraged. The scene before him, combined with Xiao Chen's words, was clearly threatening him. "You mixed blood dragon, to think that you dare to threaten me. Don't blame me for being ruthless. Emperor Dragon Fist, boundless sovereign grace." The golden dragon chi circling Qin Outyin merged into one strand and soared into the clouds, turning into Emperor's might filling the sky and hanging there. When Qin Outyin moved, he punched. A punch filled with Emperor's might tyrannically headed for Xiao Chun. The vast Divine Dragon Empire seemed to turn into a huge ship that supported the heavens. This punch activated the precise gears of the Empire's huge ship. Kassier, Kassier. The fist wind caused the words Empire to roll out. This person is a direct descendant of the Golden Dragon race's Dragon Emperor. Xiao Chun felt startled in his heart. In other words, this person was like a prince or king of a dynasty with a royal bloodline. Is he the Dragon God Crown Prince? That can't be. If the Dragon God Crown Prince were so exaggerated, then the Divine Dragon Empire would no longer be ruled by the Golden Dragon race. Or perhaps, everyone in the Golden Dragon race can use the Empire's dragon might? That is possible. After all, the Golden Dragon race is of the same bloodline. As long as one has the Golden Dragon bloodline, one would more or less have some connection to the Dragon Emperor. However, no matter who you are, since you are unwilling to agree to my conditions, don't pester me endlessly. Xiaochen would not take the initiative to cause trouble, but he was not afraid of it. If someone came to bully him, then don't blame him for being impolite. Firmament's rage. When Xiaochen saw the vast empire surging towards him, he did not even think before executing Firmament's rage. Boom! An ancient dragon might from the great desolate Aeon tore through the clouds in the sky like the rage of heaven. The rage from a great desolate Aeon ancestor dragon immediately surged in Xiaochen's body as he threw a palm strike. Xiaochen vented this boundless rage to his heart's content. A huge burning palm covered half the sky as Xiaochen threw a palm strike. Rumble! The huge palm immediately shattered the formless empire. The saber chief from the 5 fingers tore the shattered empire into pieces. Then, the lightning that followed quickly blasted the pieces into nothing. In the blink of an eye, the vague divine dragon empire with the boundless dragon might vanished. This flabbergasted Qin Aoyan, flabbergasted and flabbergasted. How can this be? Not wanting to waste time with Qin Aoyan, Xiaochen soared into the air and drew his tyrant saber. A startling saber intent tore through the sky. Knowing that the dragon robes Qin Aoyan wore were an inherited Dao tool, Xiaochen directly used his strongest saber move, resolving the mundane. Xiaochen needed to end the battle with one saber strike and leave, resolving the mundane, cutting off the 6 desires. Only I am eternal. The emotions of the mundane world immediately vanished from Xiaochen's face. Xiaochen's stern face was like a blank sheet of paper. It was not cold, but it chilled one's heart to the extreme. When the eternal saber light landed, it shattered the other party's dragon-patterned shield in one breath. However, to Xiaochen's surprise, a force quickly rebounded. Very quickly, a force bounced back. It was his enlightenment heart. Boom! The impact knocked Xiaochen back, causing him to vomit blood. When he landed on the ground, he knelt on one knee. His complexion was pale, and he appeared to be in a sorry state. A mixed blood dragon is indeed a mixed blood dragon. You have not even heard of the dragon pattern battle suit that I am wearing. How pitiful! Qin Aoyan flew back 50 kilometers, but he was not injured at all. Mockery flashed on his face, his eyes filled with the pride and pity of an expert. Xiaochen wiped off the blood at a corner of his lips and revealed a smile. However, this smile made Qin Aoyan feel flustered for some reason. Still not scramming? Emperor Dragon Fist, Sovereign Descent. Qin Aoyan did not want to be long-winded. This punch was incredibly fast, descending from the sky like an emperor descending, carrying a supreme dragon might. Qin Aoyan suddenly appeared above Xiaochen's head. A vast dragon might sealed off the surroundings, causing space to ripple and hindering Xiaochen's movement technique. This punch contained Qin Aoyan's holy venerate will. Furthermore, it was incredibly fast. If Xiaochen got struck, he would be in an even worse situation. However, while Qin Aoyan was fast, Xiaochen was faster. The instant Qin Aoyan punched, Xiaochen turned into a flash of lightning and landed on a distant mountain summit. Boom! Qin Aoyan's punch missed, only leaving a city-sized pit in the ground. Even the dust turned to dust. Qin Aoyan stood up and looked at Xiaochen, who was on the distant mountain summit. Then he said coldly, "I have the dragon pattern battle suit. It is impossible for you to break my defense. You have no chance of victory. If you leave now, I will take it as nothing happened." Is that so? Xiaochen took out the Soul Slayer bow and aimed it at Qin Aoyan. Is it useful? Qin Aoyan's lips curled up in a disdainful smile. This dragon pattern battle suit had another set of formations to deal with long-range attacks. He did not fear it at all. A strand of heart flame ignited, and the arrow shot out like a meteor, instantly striking Qin Aoyan. Bang! Blood leaked out of Qin Aoyan's lips as he looked at the arrow that pierced through the barrier and stabbed into his chest. Then, he revealed a strange expression. Whoosh! 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 Before the old man could understand what was going on, Xiao Chun shot out arrows like rain. In an instant, the old man was riddled with arrows, looking like a hornet's nest. The heart flame, a simplified version of heart force, completely ignored the dragon pattern battlesuit's defense. This completely surpassed Qin Aoyan's understanding. Qin Aoyan was in so much pain that he wished he were dead. Earlier, he had been arrogant and despotic, but now he lost his temper. Qin Aoyan's internal organs were all injured. A sapphire ring on his finger gave off a gentle light as it helped him recover from his injuries. However, his injuries were too severe, and it was impossible for him to recover in a short period of time. Whoosh! A bolt of lightning descended from the sky. Xiao Chen appeared and landed in front of Qin Aoyan. You! Qin Aoyan pointed at Xiao Chun. Before he could say another word, Xiao Chun kicked him into the air. Then, Xiao Chun flew forward and pulled out the arrows on Qin Aoyan's body one by one. Every time Xiao Chun pulled out an arrow, Qin Aoyan would scream like a dying pig in pain. However, Xiao Chun turned a deaf ear to it. He only stopped after retrieving all the arrows. I have indeed never seen this dragon pattern battle suit before. I'll take it back and study it properly. Thank you, then. With a wave of his hand, Xiao Chun removed the flickering golden battle suit on Qin Aoyan's body and put it in his storage ring. Shameless fellow, this is the battle suit that my big brother gave me. Qin Aoyan, will definitely not let you off. I swear it. Qin Aoyan roared in pain as he pointed at Xiao Chun, his arms trembling. Xiao Chun looked at Qin Aoyan, who was on the verge of collapsing. Then he shook his head slightly. Just be a young master at home. Why go out and take risks? Don't you know that this world is very dangerous? Fortunately, Xiao Chun ran into Xiao Chun. Pity flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes. Then he punched Qin Aoyan's face heavily, pulverizing his handsome facial features. Qin Aoyan fainted from the pain, and the world became peaceful. After removing the spiritual mark in the dragon pattern battlesuit and leaving his own mark, Xiao Chun revealed a satisfied smile. This dragon pattern battlesuit was indeed pretty good. It was worth studying. Chapter 1897. After putting away the dragon pattern battlesuit, Xiao Chun took away the Blazing Sun Berserk Ape's Beast Core. Then, he collected all the valuable parts of the Blazing Sun Berserk Ape. It's time to leave. Although Xiao Chun had spent some time and encountered some mishaps, he had successfully completed the mission. Now, there were only 2 missions left. One was to eliminate the demonic cloud Mountain 18 Great Bandits, and the other was to enter the underground world to help the Dragon's Gate snatch back its lost resource points. Of the 2 missions, there was no need to think too much. It would be better to complete the first one first. The underground world was also known as the Abyssal Underworld. The 4 dynasties and 8 great empires all interacted with it. The waters were very deep. Holy venerates were nothing in there. Sometimes, startling battles would erupt. Even divine vein powerhouses would appear. However, since the mission given by the sect was a rank 1 mission, it should not exceed the limits of a holy venerate. There were still some guarantees. If it exceeded that, it would definitely be a peerless rank 1 mission. However, the Underground World mission was specially marked as a peak rank 1 mission. It was extremely dangerous and recommended 3 people to complete it. 1 hour after Xiao Chun left, 2 old men suddenly appeared where he was. The 2 old men's cultivations were extremely horrifying. Although they were not sovereign personages yet, they were still very strong. Although they were not sovereign personages, their auras already reached the limits of late-stage holy venerate. Their gazes were sharp, and their dragon might was strong. Whoosh! The 2 old men arrived beside Qin Aoyan. When they took a look, they were stupefied. Qin Aoyan's handsome face now looked like shit. If not for the 2 old men following Qin Aoyan for a long time, they would not have recognized him. Who did this? This is too ruthless. Stop talking. Quickly reassemble young master's bones. Otherwise, if he sees his current state, he will probably feel like dying. However, this difficulty is simply too high. Even if we reassemble it, it will be difficult for it to return to its original state. I really don't know where to start. The two old men sighed. However, after checking, they found that although Qin Outyin was severely injured, they were not fatal. Qin Outyin could recover quickly with some good medicinal pills. Of the inherited Dao tools on him, only the dragon pattern battlesuit was missing. He still had all 5 rings. However, the missing dragon pattern battlesuit was the most valuable of all the inherited Dao tools. What should I do? How am I going to explain this to the young master? That dragon pattern battlesuit has been passed down in the Qin family for several generations. Now that it's gone, we're in big trouble. It's fine. Eldest young master has always been impartial. This time, it was young master who insisted on not letting us go in. I believe that eldest young master will not blame us. I hope so. Xiaoqin didn't know about this, but even if he knew, he wouldn't regret what he had done. The 18 bandits of the Demon Cloud Mountain. The demonic Cloud Mountain was not a mountain, but it was indeed a mountain. This sounded contradictory, but it was true. The demonic Cloud Mountain was a legacy Dao artifact. Moreover, it was a rather impressive legacy Dao artifact. As long as Xiaoqin had sufficient resources, he would be able to refine it into a soul tool in the future. There were many capable people among the 18 great bandits. Some were good at formations, some were good at alchemy, some were good at divination, and some were good at smithing. There were experts in every field. Because of this, they were able to divine good or bad fortune and turn misfortune into fortune every time. The 18 great bandits could divine whether a sovereign personage expert would come to kill them. If there was, they would immediately flee. The demonic cloud mountain entered the starry heavens, hidden in the boundless universe. It was boundlessly vast, making it impossible to find. The Dragon's Gate had been keeping an eye on this group of great bandits for many years. However, it could not do anything to them. If the Dragon's Gate sent a strong person, the demonic Cloud Mountain Great Bandits would flee in advance. If the Dragon's Gate sent a weak person, the demonic Cloud Mountain Great Bandits would end up being killed. If the Dragon's Gate sent a divine vein expert to prevent the demonic Cloud Mountain Great Bandits from making a divination, it would be overkill. Divine vein powerhouses disdained making a move on these holy venerates. This gave the Dragon's Gate's upper echelon a headache. The mission to eliminate the demonic Cloud Mountain Great Bandits had been pending for many years, but it had never been completed. The reward was very high, a total of 13,000 primeval heavenly pills, nearly equal to a core disciple's annual stipend. Xiaoqin used the Dragon's Gate's strong intelligence network throughout the empire to find out news of the demonic Cloud Mountain Great Bandits. Then, he quickly rushed over. Divine Dragon Empire, Smoky Cloud County. There was a very conspicuous mountain peak hidden in the Smoky Cloud Mountain Range, the largest mountain range in the Smoky Cloud County. However, this Smoky Cloud Mountain Range spanned from north to south. It was simply too vast. No one would notice the strangeness of a mountain peak. The mountain peak towered into the clouds. However, the clouds around it were pitch black and surging with demonic chi. This mountain peak, which was not much different from an ordinary mountain peak, was the infamous demonic Cloud Mountain. A white-clad youth sat on a mountain summit in the distance. He had a treasured saber at his waist, and he had a delicate face. Clouds and mist surrounded him, giving him the air of someone from ancient times. When the clouds and mist on the peak of the mountain dispersed, he noticed to his surprise that the white-clothed young man was sitting on a blood-red bird. This large scarlet bird had a sharp gaze, its eyes glowing with a golden light. Its scarlet feathers were bright and glistening. Its body stood tall, and the golden line in its tail feathers looked exceptionally eye-catching. Naturally, the white-clad bladesman was Xiaoqin. That large scarlet bird was the awakened demon blood vulture. The demon blood vulture consumed the scarlet blood beast pill and turned into a scarlet cocoon for several months. This breakthrough was indeed extraordinary. Not only did the demon blood vulture advance to Holy Venerate, but its mutated bloodline also improved. The demon blood vulture's demonic might became even stronger. It awakened some of the incomplete memories hidden in its bloodline and grasped many new skills. Its strength was no longer the same as before. 3 to 5 regular Holy Venerates would not be sufficient before it. Demonic Cloud Mountain. A brilliant light flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes as he looked at the distant mountain peak. The Dragon's Gate's information on the demonic Cloud Mountain had always been rather accurate. However, knowing was one thing. Whether they could destroy it or not was another matter. If Xiao Chen were a sovereign personage now, then the demonic Cloud Mountain before Xiao Chen would definitely vanish in advance, not letting Xiao Chen discover it. There were divination experts among the 18 great bandits. They could divine some crucial clues in advance, allowing them to roam freely for so many years. This showed that the divination experts were rather skilled. Master, when are we going to kill our way over? I'm dying of thirst. The demon blood vulture's voice rang out in Xiao Chen's mind, sounding impatient. There's no rush. Let me prepare for a while. Xiao Chen stabbed his saber into the ground and took out the god's shadow bow. Then he slowly stroked it. This soul tool was undoubtedly his greatest reliance. Honestly speaking, it would be difficult for Xiao Chen to deal with these 18 infamous great bandits with his own strength. If he was not careful, he might end up dying. If Xiao Chen focused on fleeing, he would not be afraid of the 18 great bandits catching up. However, the mission required him to kill these 18 great bandits. Inside the demonic Cloud Mountain, this was a mysterious black space. That pitch-black space was empty. Nothing could be seen. It seemed infinitely large and infinitely small at the same time, mysterious and unfathomable. Boom! Suddenly, a clump of light appeared in the pitch-black space. Boundless stars appeared in the ceiling, looking boundless and vast. Ninth brother, are you done divining yet? Are there really no sovereign personages targeting us this time? A vague voice came from that clump of light in the pitch-black space. I have divined 3 times. There is indeed no one. However, it is too hard to divine who is coming. However, I am certain that it is not a sovereign personage. Another clump of light appeared in the mysterious space, replying to the person who spoke earlier. Hee. It's good that there are no sovereign personages. Without a sovereign personage around, our demonic Cloud Mountain is sufficient to sweep through the place. No matter how many holy venerates come, it will be useless. Ha ha ha. I hope that it is a heaven-class core disciple of one of the outer palaces who comes. Just thinking about it makes me drool. The heaven-class core disciples of the various outer palaces are all very fat. Heaven-class core disciples probably have life-saving means. They're not that easy to kill. This old man hopes that there will be more holy venerates. That way, they will think that they can break through the demonic Cloud Mountain with numbers. Hee. First brother, what should we target this time? The Smoke Cloud County's MO clan is an average-sized clan. I just received news that their clan's sovereign personage has passed away. The sovereign personage of their clan already passed away. There is no need to fear them. I can't wait any longer. The last time we made a move was 1 year ago, right? That was really satisfying. Eighth brother, you bastard. You want to destroy a clan every time, not even letting off the children. Ha ha. However, don't fight with me this time. Leave the matter of destroying the clan to me. Ha ha ha. No problem. As long as we, the demonic cloud, 18 great bandits, work together, we will be able to sweep through the place. There is nothing we cannot do. In the pitch-black space, more and more lights appeared, and the sounds of discussion became more and more heated. Just at this moment, Lord Gio's eyebrows twitched slightly. His heart skipped a beat for some reason. For those who practice divination, the appearance of this inexplicable sign was an extremely terrifying matter. Lord Gio's expression changed drastically as he frantically divined. The clump of light that represented Lord Gio became incredibly resplendent, blazing, and dazzling. Lord Gio, what's wrong? What's going on? Such a strange change made the other great bandits feel that something was wrong. Big brother, quickly leave. Quickly activate the demonic cloud mountain to leave. The person who comes has a soul tool. If we do not leave now, it will be too late. The light shattered, and Lord Jiu vomited a mouthful of blood. After he spoke of the results of his divination, he fainted. The others went into a huge commotion, feeling shocked. Far away, a brilliant light flickered in Xiao Chen's eyes as he drew his bow. Xiao Chen had already infused all his soul energy into the bow. However, this was still not enough. He continued to pour in his veritable essence energy. A clump of heart flame appeared on Xiao Chen's fingertip and spread into the arrow, merging with it. Xiao Chen's body wobbled slightly, on the verge of fainting at any moment. However, he still did his best to persevere. He maintained his strong willpower and continued to infuse his veritable essence energy into the god shadow bow, continuously challenging his limits. Whoosh! When Xiao Chen felt that he had reached his limits, he let go, and the arrow shot out. The arrow was so fast that Xiao Chen could not catch it. The demonic cloud mountain, which had just soared into the air, exploded the instant Xiao Chen let go. Miserable shrieks rang out as 18 figures were blasted into the air. The god shadow bow's arrow blasted the entire demonic cloud mountain into countless shards that surged out and formed tens of thousands of storms. When the storm spread out, it shattered the surrounding peaks. Xiao Chen jumped off the demon blood vulture's back somewhat weakly. However, a cold and emotionless murderous intent appeared on his pale face. He said coldly, "None of you are allowed to escape. Leave no one alive. If anyone escapes, I will hold you responsible." "Yes, master." The impatient demon blood vulture screeched and turned into a scarlet arrow as it shot out. Chapter 1898. One arrow exploded the demonic cloud mountain range. The 18 great bandits were all inside. Naturally, none of them could escape. They would all be affected. The inherited Dao tool exploded. The damage to the 18 great bandits could be easily imagined. It was already rare that they did not die on the spot when the Dao tool exploded. Sending the demon blood vulture to clean up the mess was the best option. On the summit, Xiao Chen took out a primeval heavenly pill and swallowed it. Then, he sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes to recover. Miserable cries rang out endlessly in the misty cloud mountain range. Xiao Chen ignored them, meditating and recuperating. That earlier arrow drained all his soul energy and veritable essence energy. He even overdrew on a portion of his life force. Otherwise, the god shadow bow would not have been able to unleash such vast might. Normally, only rank 5 sects and above had soul tools that could be used as the sect's cornerstone weapon. Even a sovereign personage could not bring out the full might of a soul tool. Although Xiao Chen had vast veritable essence energy as a star of Venerate, his soul energy was still lacking. Every time he used a soul tool, he would suffer a significant backlash. Xiao Chen absolutely could not use it unless he had no other choice. He also had to do his best to keep his possession of a soul tool a secret. 1 hour later, Xiao Chen opened his eyes. His complexion had recovered some color. A red light flashed before Xiao Chen's eyes. The demon blood vulture had returned smugly, circling in the air. Xiao Chen grabbed the tyrant saber beside him and soared into the air, landing on the demon blood vulture's back. Clouds shrouded the misty cloud mountain range. The white-clad Xiao Chen rode the demon blood vulture as he tore through the clouds. In mere moments, he saw the corpses of the 18 great bandits scattered among the rubble of the various peaks. They died in different ways, all killed by the demon blood vulture. Xiao Chen revealed a satisfied expression. He felt gratified at the demon blood vulture's efficiency. He had not fed it the scarlet blood beast pill in vain. Withdrawing his smile, Xiao Chen drew his saber and chopped off the head of a great bandit. Then he grabbed it and placed it in his storage ring. Soon, as the demon blood vulture circled in the air, Xiao Chen collected the 18 great bandits' heads and their storage rings. Mission complete. Xiao Chen heaved a sigh of relief. The first 3 missions only took a month to complete. This gave him plenty of time to complete the last task. Just as Shao Chun was about to leave, the demon blood vulture's voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Master, I've also discovered something interesting. Oh, with a thought, Shao Chun got the demon blood vulture to lead the way. After a while, the demon blood vulture stopped before the rubble of a mountain peak. Many of the nearby mountain peaks were affected by the explosion of the demonic cloud mountain and directly collapsed. This was one of them. Shao Chun jumped off the demon blood vulture's back. Then, he found a cube-shaped crystal with tight cracks in the rocks. Fiddling with it in his hand, Shao Chun discovered that the 4 sides of the crystal were inlaid so tightly that there were almost no gaps. It looked like a natural gemstone. However, the formation patterns inscribed on it told Shao Chun that it was a man-made artifact. After studying it for a while, a brilliant light flashed in Shao Chun's eyes. This was a storage medium, something like a storage ring. However, it should have been inlaid in the demonic cloud mountain in the past, a part of the demonic cloud mountain. Could it be hiding the treasures that the demonic cloud mountain great bandits accumulated over the years? If that was the case, then Shao Chun would have struck it rich. However, this formation was somewhat difficult to deal with. Shao Chun could not break it quickly. There were great masters skilled in all sorts of things among the 18 great bandits. This should be the work of a great formation master. Ordinary people would not be able to break it. Never mind. I'll put it away first. Shao Chun carefully put it away and left this place to complete his final mission. At this moment, he was eager to return, wanting to break through to late-stage Star Venerate. He felt that after these few battles and comprehensions, it was time for him to break through to late-stage Star Venerate. He wanted to complete his mission quickly and rush back to the sect to participate in the Heaven-class Core Disciple Selection. The Underground World. This place was also known as the Abyssal Underworld. There was a total of 9 layers, each boundlessly vast. Back then, before the martial epic flourished, the fiendish demons ran amok. After the sages of the various races killed the fiendish demons descendants went underground. The fiendish demons merged with the original races in the underground world, cultivating and recuperating. After 1,000,000 years, they developed a civilization that was not inferior to that of the surface world. The 9 underworld monarchs were even more famous. They had led the underground demons to charge into the central great realm's orthodox position several times. Fortunately, these 9 underworld monarchs had many conflicts with each other. They often fought among themselves, unable to take care of themselves. Furthermore, the dynasties now ruled the central great realm, enjoying the central great realm's luck. After accumulating for tens of thousands of years, the accumulations of the dynasties were all very horrifying. There were also the 4 Buddhist temples, the 3 Taoist sects, and other transcendent holy lands. The abyssal underworld could not cause much of a commotion. However, the dragon race had somewhat complicated feelings about the abyssal underworld. Since ancient times, the only one to unify the entire abyssal underworld was the dragon race's Black Dragon King, known as the Prime Underworld Monarch. However, this Black Dragon King nearly brought destruction to the Divine Dragon Empire. That was a part of history that no one in the dragon race was willing to mention. If one wanted to enter the abyssal underworld, one had to find a deep abyss crack. The underground world was not the ordinary underground world. It could be seen as the dark side of the Central Great Realm. It was attached to the Central Great Realm and was vast and unfathomable. It was even more horrifying than the Central Great Realm. The two did not normally interact. However, as time passed, accidents would always happen. The deep abyss crack was the result of these accidents, allowing the 2 realms to travel freely. Shao Chun spent 7 days and saw a huge crack in the ground in a desolate plain in the Divine Dragon Empire. It was like the entire world had been cut in half. The crack extended endlessly, spanning thousands of kilometers. The ground of the crack was pitch black. No figures could be seen. Occasionally, Shao Chun saw some strange creatures flying in the darkness. Blood crows. Shao Chun frowned slightly. He had seen these creatures of darkness in the Kunlun realm before. They were creatures born from all sorts of negative emotions and dark energy. There seemed to be a huge blood crow nest hidden under the darkness. The demon blood vulture looked at the crack, and excitement flashed in its eyes. It smelled the demonic food that its bloodline desired. "Jump!" Xiao Chun commanded, and the demon blood vulture shot down like an arrow. Whoosh! 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 The demon blood vulture descended by an unknown amount of meters. Blood crows filled the air and flew out of the incredibly cold and dark crack. Indeed, they are blood crows. Xiao Qin's expression changed slightly. These blood crows were much more horrifying than the blood crows of the Kunlun realm. These blood crows were all incredibly huge, flickering with red light in the darkness. Their wings were like sabers, and their eyes gleamed with evil light. They were all mutated blood crows. They swarmed over, covering the sky and land. Without the strength of a holy venerate or the protection of a rare treasure, continuing like this would be no different from seeking death. However, these blood crows were delicious food to the demon blood vulture. The demon blood vulture laughed maniacally. The demon blood vulture flapped its scarlet wings, and a strong wind blew, sending a large group of mutated blood crows into its mouth. As Xiao Chun sat on the demon blood vulture's back, he remained expressionless as he unleashed only 2 strands of great Tao energy. The blood crow that slipped through the net and dared to get close were either electrocuted or pierced by saber chi. The demon blood vulture dove continuously. The mutated blood crows that died fell like rain. Xiao Qin did not know how many they killed. As for the ones that the demon blood vulture ate, the number was uncountable. Whoosh! Suddenly, the world spun. Xiao Chun felt something strange. The demonic Tao veritable essence energy in his body strengthened significantly for some reason. When Xiao Qin's vision widened, the demon blood vulture landed on a mountain peak. When Xiao Chun looked into the distance from the summit, he saw a boundlessly vast plain with mountains and rivers. However, compared to the ground, the environment was very strange. Is this the first layer of the abyssal underworld? Xiao Chun muttered to himself as he sat on the demon blood vulture's back. The ruling races of the first layer of the abyssal underworld were the demons, followed by the Rakshasa race, and then the flood dragon humans. Aside from them, there were also various ghostly beasts that only existed in the abyssal underworld. However, the flood dragon humans were different from the Rakshasa race. There were no specific legends about the flood dragon humans in the abyssal underworld. Now, the flood dragon humans wandered around, scattered throughout the 9 layers of the abyssal underworld. In each layer, they were at the bottom. The Rakshasa race mainly existed in the first layer of the abyssal underworld. The first underworld monarch was Rakshasa Tian, the strongest expert of the Rakshasa race. Xiao Chun took out the corresponding mission card and activated it, indicating his arrival. Then, he waited for the response of the Dragon's Gates faction in the first layer. Chapter 1899. The underground world was boundlessly vast. The miraculous soil and special environment nurtured many resources that were not found on the surface or extremely rare. In the martial epoch, resources came first and talent second. With sufficient resources, one did not have to worry about not attracting demonic geniuses. Even if Xiao Chun ran out of resources, he would not be able to do anything. The primeval heavenly pills of the Heaven Dragon Palace had helped Xiao Chun a lot, benefiting him greatly. In a mere 2 months, he had advanced to peak consummation middle stage Star Venerate. Without sufficient primeval heavenly pills, this would be impossible. One could easily imagine that there would be competition for places with scarce resources. The resources in the underground world were countless. Netherworld frost iron, obsidian stone, heptagold metal, ink silver, ghost cloud steel, dark crystal stone, underworld heart jade, and many more. The more dangerous a place was, the more scarce the resources would be. This was the law of the great Thousand Realms. With so many resources, as long as the 4 dynasties and 8 empires had the ability, they would definitely not let them go. Even the 10 holy lands of the righteous Tao and the 10 great demonic Tao sects of the demonic Tao, these aloof existences would carve out their own territories. Furthermore, every layer of the abyssal underworld was extremely vast. Most of the time, even the underworld monarchs could not control all the resource points. This gave the other factions a good opportunity. The factions in the abyssal underworld divided up and occupied resource points. The Divine Dragon Empire was one of the top factions in the entire Central Great Realm. Naturally, they could not miss out on this opportunity. The mission that Shao Chun accepted was to help the Dragon's Gate take back a lost resource point. After using the mission card to send a message, Shao Chun quickly received a reply from the other party. The mission card contained not only the other party's location, but also the corresponding map. After injecting a strand of spiritual sense into the mission card, a three-dimensional map quickly appeared in Shao Chun's mind. Flame Dragon City? This city was the main camp of the Dragon's Gate. A complete legion, the Flame Dragon Legion, was stationed there. Right now, Shao Chun's destination was to rush to this Flame Dragon City and wait for the other party's instructions on how to take back the lost resource point. Whoosh! Shao Chun leaped into the air and jumped off the demon blood vulture's back. Then, he glided over the mountain peaks and gently landed on the ground. As far as the eye could see, the wilderness was boundless. It was dark and suffused with an oppressive aura. Who knew what dangers were lurking in the seemingly peaceful front? Caution flashed in Shao Chun's eyes as he executed the Thunder Dragon incantation. He stood on a lightning dragon and soared into the sky. Who knew what kind of danger he would encounter if he flew in the sky rashly? It was better to be careful in an unknown place. The abyss underworld was dark. However, compared to the surface of the underground, there wasn't much difference. It was just that the vegetation was taller and the soil was black. An ordinary weed could be hundreds of meters tall. Fortunately, it was not dense and was sparsely dotted on the ground. Otherwise, his speed would be much slower. Whoosh! A ghost beast unique to the underground world pounced toward Shao Chun. It was a ghost beast that looked like a black tiger. His body had the most obvious characteristics of ghost beasts, lifeless and lifeless. Ghost beasts were actually the souls of dead, ferocious beasts that dissipated into the underground world. Through the underground world, the special environment, as well as the dark energy and negative emotions, they were resurrected and turned into mutated beasts. Strictly speaking, these ferocious beasts were already dead. However, ghost beasts could cultivate as well. It was common for strong ghost beasts to instantly kill primes. Shao Chun was in a rush, so he attacked decisively, not holding back in any of his moves. Two Dao discs appear behind him, ready to deal with the strong ghost beast that could appear at any time. As Shao Chun rushed over, a huge sense of danger appeared in his mind. Suddenly, a white figure appeared in the darkness in front. The white figure bared its terrifying fangs and bit at Shao Chun's head. Whoosh! Without even thinking, Shao Chun instinctively retreated and dodged. Then, he turned into a bolt of lightning and turned around to counterattack. A miserable shriek rang out. A ghost wolf with white fur opened its scarlet eyes and glared at Shao Chun. Deep Abyss Demonic Wolf. Shao Chun recognized the origins of this ghostly beast. He thought to himself, its speed is extraordinarily fast. Its movements are erratic, nearly injuring me. Die! Without giving the ghost wolf a chance to turn around, Shao Chun decisively punched, and the two Dao discs behind him gave off a resplendent light. Saber light and lightning flickered in the fist light. The Deep Abyss Demonic Wolf exploded with one punch. The Deep Abyss Demonic Wolf turned into scattered black energy that spread into the sky. Its next resurrection would take a long time. The black light scattered, and a white beast core appeared on the ground. It looked exceptionally resplendent like a crystal. The beast core of a ghost beast was also known as the demonic soul pill. If one directly refined it, one could quickly recover soul energy. Of course, one needed to remove some impurities first. If one did not, one could only absorb a small amount. As Shao Chun fought intensely, the ghost beast he encountered grew increasingly stronger. However, he did not spend too much time. He dealt with them in one exchange. If he could not, he would make a detour. For hours later, the silhouette of a city appeared before Shao Chun. This was Flame Dragon City. The city was not very large, but it was heavily guarded. There were many camps around, heavily guarded. Shao Chun could also see dragon race cultivators patrolling the surroundings. Whoosh! Just as Shao Chun was observing, two dragon race cultivators wearing battle robes suddenly appeared and looked at Shao Chun cautiously. When these two dragon race cultivators discovered Shao Chun's dragon race aura, their expressions eased up slightly. Shao Chun had just said that the city was heavily guarded, and he was immediately discovered. Indeed, it was extraordinarily strict. Recently, Flame Dragon City has been heavily guarded. It is not open to the Dragon's Gate's Outer Palace disciples. If you are here to stay, you will be disappointed, the person on the left said directly as he looked at Shao Chun. Naturally, Flame Dragon City provided many conveniences to the Dragon's Gate's Outer Palace disciples. As the Dragon's Gate's headquarters in the underground world, it naturally provided many conveniences to the Dragon's Gate's disciples. Many dragon race cultivators came to the underground world to adventure. Many of them would use Flame Dragon City as a resting place. Shao Chun took out his mission token and identity token. Then, he said, "I am Shao Chun, a core disciple of the Heaven Dragon Palace. I am here on a mission from the Dragon's Gate." The two guards had a strange look on their faces after inspecting it. However, they still returned the mission token and core disciple identity token to Shao Chun. Then, they respectfully led him into the city. "Come with me. The general has been waiting for a long time already. Of the 7 outer palaces, you are the only one missing." After following the two through many checkpoints, Shao Chun successfully entered the city. Then, he was led to a tower with the dragon race's characteristics. At the top floor of the tower, Shao Chun reported honestly. After verifying his identity, he was invited in. When Shao Chun pushed the door open and entered, the average-sized room was already filled with people. Aside from the Flame Dragon Legion's upper echelon, there were also the other Outer Palace Core disciples who had accepted the mission. Shao Chun was somewhat surprised to see Murong Yin among the core disciples. Like Shao Chun, Murong Yin had also accepted the mission. Shao Chun, the Heaven Dragon Palace has a total of 3 Heaven-class core disciples. I recall that they are Exian, Li Luo, and Juyan. It doesn't seem to be a disciple called Shao Chun among them. A middle-aged cultivator wearing battle armor with a clearly stronger aura than everyone else in the room spoke indifferently as he looked at Shao Chun. If Shao Chun guessed right, this person was the Flame Dragon Legion's leader, General Feng. Shao Chun said calmly, "General, the mission does not seem to state that only Heaven-class core disciples can accept this mission. However, the mission specifically states the difficulty. This is not an ordinary rank 1 mission. Furthermore, it explains the mission's importance in detail. I was the one who asked the Dragon's Gate to issue this mission. I am very clear on what kind of person I am looking for." General Feng frowned slightly. Clearly, he was not satisfied with Shao Chun. He was even more dissatisfied with the administrator of the Heaven Dragon Palace's mission hall. This was simply messing around. It was fine for the other outer palaces to send ordinary core disciples. After all, they all had divine dragon bloodlines. However, the Heaven Dragon Palace actually did not send a Heaven-class core disciple to accept this mission. "General, I can verify that although Shao Chun has a mixed blood dragon bloodline, he is definitely not weak." Unexpectedly, Murong Yin, who initially looked down on Shao Chun, took the initiative to speak up for Shao Chun at this moment. General Feng felt slightly surprised. After some thought, he said, "Since Murong Yin has confirmed it, then I will not question your qualifications to accept this mission. Sit down. I have always dealt with matters and not people. Please don't mind my earlier attitude." Shao Chun nodded and said, "Many thanks." Shao Chun also felt somewhat depressed in his heart. The divine dragon bloodline was indeed good. Murong Yan's words prevented General Feng from questioning him, saving him a lot of trouble. However, the other outer palace's core disciples did not think much of Shao Chun as they looked at him. After a glance, they no longer paid him any attention. "There's no need to thank me. I was just speaking the truth." Murong Yan's proud words appeared in Shao Chun's mind. When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt stunned. He did not seem to have any intention of thanking the other party, as what Murong Yin said was the truth. However, since Murong Yin sent a voice projection to him, Xiao Chen still replied, "Many thanks." Humph! Murong Yin appeared proud as he snorted coldly, showing an expression that said, "At least you are tactful." Xiao Chen knew the other party's temper. He smiled faintly and ignored him. Chapter 1900. Since everyone can't come, I'll tell everyone the plan in advance, General Feng said after seeing Xiao Chen sit down. Then, he looked at the core disciples of the 7 outer palaces and said seriously, "Xiao Chen, don't come." Murong Yin, Xiao Chen, and the others showed grave expressions as they looked at General Feng. General Feng organized his thoughts and said, "The stronghold that was taken away is rich in netherworld frost iron and underworld heart jade. You might not understand. I'll give a simple explanation. Netherworld frost iron is a crucial divine material that every inherited Dao tool needs. No other resource can replace it. As for underworld heart jade, it is a natural resource that can stabilize the soul and recover soul energy. The underworld heart pill refined from it is a medicinal pill that sovereign personages need." The others felt startled. Although they all had inherited Dao tools, they did not know that refining inherited Dao tools required netherworld frost iron. They had heard of the underworld heart pill before, but it was extremely expensive. Unless one was a sovereign personage, cultivators of other cultivation could not carry it on them in large quantities. Xiao Chen recalled that he had underworld heart pills in his storage ring. Those were the war trophies that he obtained from killing other holy venerates. However, there were not many of them. Actually, these losses are bearable as long as we do not lose our main camp. Sooner or later, we can rebuild our stronghold in this vast abyssal underworld and make up for it. The greatest loss is prestige. If we cannot retake our lost stronghold in time, the other factions will view the Flame Dragon Legion's strength significantly. At that time, not to mention what Rakshasa Heaven will do to us, the other factions from the surface might make a move on us. The struggle in the abyssal underworld is far more intense than on the surface. Do you understand what I mean? Clearly, General Feng had prepared these words for a long time. The moment he spoke, he told everyone about the severity of the matter. The matter was not as simple as losing a stronghold. In this abyssal underworld, the strong preyed on the weak. The competition was even scarier. If one could not retake the stronghold quickly, one would be considered weak. The weak had no place to live in this abyssal underworld. While it looked like losing a stronghold, in reality, it threatened the interests of the entire Dragon's Gate in the underground world. If one was not careful, Flame Dragon City might be uprooted. General Feng's meaning was not to underestimate this mission. One had to understand the importance of this mission. They could not afford any mistakes. It's just a small stronghold. Don't worry, General. It won't be a problem for us. Right after General Feng spoke, Murong Yin expressed his stance, appearing extremely confident. Who knew? The other core disciples from the 7 outer palaces all looked at him strangely. General Feng frowned slightly, not understanding. He had already made it clear enough. Why did this Murong Yin still not understand? The moment he opened his mouth, he mentioned an insignificant gathering point. He did not realize the severity of this mission. His gaze shifted to Xiao Chen, and he started to doubt what Xiao Chen had said earlier. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. He knew something was wrong and quickly said, "General, we all know the importance of this mission. If there's anything you need help with, you can tell us. We won't be careless and will obey your arrangements." "All right." General Feng nodded slightly and said softly, "The fight for the stronghold will definitely be a large-scale battle. It's impossible to take it down with just the 7 of you. What I want you to do is to destroy the Rakshasa demon's underworld god altar and then send out a signal for me to launch an attack. Absolutely obey the arrangements, and do not act on your own." Clearly, Xiao Chen's words had temporarily dispelled General Feng's doubts. Whoosh! General Feng waved his hand, and a jade strip appeared before Xiao Chen and the others. The Jade Strip contained information about the Rakshasa altar and the details of this mission. The underworld god Altar could summon the clone of the first underworld monarch, Rakshasa Tion. When the clone appeared, Rakshasa Tion could use his underworld monarch will to influence the Rakshasa demons within 5,000 kilometers. This greatly increased the strength of the Rakshasa demons, who no longer feared death, and increased their combat prowess by more than 50%. Furthermore, Rakshasa Tion's clone was an extremely strong existence in the first place, posing a great threat. The existence of the countless underworld god altars allowed the Rakshasa race to become the overlord of the strongest abyssal underworld. Even when the various factions of the surface world gathered, they could not truly shake or threaten the Rakshasa demon's ruling position. As long as they destroyed this underworld god altar, it would be equivalent to breaking an arm of the Rakshasa demons. Their chances of snatching back the gathering point would increase significantly. General Feng's mission to gather the elites of the various outer palaces was to rely on the strength of the seven. They infiltrated deep into enemy territory and successfully destroyed the underworld god altar. Xiao Chun thought to himself, "This mission is extraordinarily dangerous. Just 7 people infiltrated deep into enemy territory. If they were discovered and something unexpected happened, they would die for sure. It would be hard for them to escape." After the other 6 saw the mission's details, their expressions changed slightly. Originally, they were thinking of following the Flame Dragon Legion into battle. Who could have imagined that they would infiltrate alone and destroy the underworld god altar? Since the underworld god altar was so important, it would definitely be heavily guarded. General Feng said, "This mission is indeed rather dangerous. However, don't worry. There is no sovereign personage guarding the underworld god altar. There is only one sovereign personage among the Rakshasa demons. He cannot personally guard the altar. Once we destroy the altar, I will launch an attack. He will have to deal with the Flame Dragon Legion, so he will not be able to chase after you." Xiao Chun grasped the jade strip and looked at General Feng. Then, he asked, "When do we depart?" General Feng felt very satisfied with Xiao Chen's attitude. He did not complain at all, going straight to the point. He said softly, 3 days later, "If you have any requests, our legion will do our best to fulfill them. You should also familiarize yourself with each other during these 3 days. When the time comes, you will have better teamwork. If you have any questions, you can raise them now." The Golden Dragon Palace Core disciple on the left said, "I would like to know if we can obtain additional reward from the Flame Dragon Legion after we complete the mission." General Feng frowned slightly, but still said, "I can make the decision and give you some Netherworld Frost Iron and Underworld Heart Jades as additional rewards. I want 5 tons of Netherworld Frost Iron and 1,000 Underworld Heart Jades." The Golden Dragon Palace Core disciple said indifferently, showing no room for negotiation. The Golden Dragon Palace Core disciple asked indifferently. He showed no expression on his face, as though there was no room for negotiation. An adjutant beside General Feng could not help scolding. The Golden Dragon Palace's Wei Hongfei's expression did not change. He did not say anything, waiting for General Feng to speak. The Golden Dragon Palace's Wei Hongfei's expression did not change. He did not say anything, waiting for General Feng to speak. General Feng felt slightly angry. However, this Wei Hongfei was the strongest of the 7, a core member. In the end, he clenched his teeth and said, "If you can really destroy the Underworld God altar, I can give you 5 tons of Netherworld Frost Iron and Underworld Heart Jades. However, if you fail, you know the consequences." Wei Hongfei revealed a faint smile and said softly, "Deal." After saying that, Wei Hongfei stood up and left, not lingering. When the core disciples of the other outer palaces saw the situation, they could not help asking for additional rewards based on their strength. Soon, only Xiao Chun and Murong Yin remained of the 7 core disciples. General Feng looked at the 2, indicating that they could ask for additional rewards based on their strength. Who knew? The 2 did not ask for additional rewards. Murong Yin shook his head and said, "I do not have the habit of taking advantage of others. Our Moron clan does not lack resources. Only Xiao Chun remained. Indeed, Xiao Chun did not want any additional rewards. He did not have the habit of taking advantage of others, either. However, Xiao Chun made a request. He needed a batch of good arrows, in large quantities and of good quality. Xiao Chun's arrows were of poor quality. If not for the heart flame, he would not be able to use them with the God Shadow Bow. Since Xiao Chun had joined the army, he needed to exchange for a batch of good arrows for his own use. His request was very reasonable, so General Feng agreed happily. Then he got someone to lead Xiao Chun to the supplies department. 3 days later, the 7 gathered. General Feng personally sent them off. Whether they could destroy the underworld god altar or not was the crux of taking back the resource node. The fact that General Feng was willing to spend so many resources showed how much importance he placed on this mission. General Feng even agreed to Wei Hongfei's unreasonable request. As General Feng watched Xiao Chen's group leave, his aide-de-camp asked, "General, do you think they can complete it?" General Feng replied softly, "There is still a lot of hope. The strength of these 7 is extraordinary. They are the cream of the crop among the core disciples of their respective palaces. Although that Wei Hongfei is unruly and takes advantage of the situation, he is fully qualified to compete for a heaven-class core disciple position in the Golden Dragon Palace. As for Murong Yin, he is a rare genius of the Red Dragon race that appears once in 1,000 years. However, Xiao Chun is slightly weaker. The Heaven Dragon Palace is still somewhat unreliable. Prepare a backup plan and be prepared for their failure." "Yes, General." After leaving Flame Dragon City, Xiao Chun clearly felt that the other 6 were already very familiar with each other. Along the way, they chatted softly, expressing their opinions. When Xiao Chun saw this, he immediately understood. The other 6 had interacted with him alone for the past 3 days, isolating him. After traveling for a while, Wei Hongfei suddenly stopped and looked at Xiao Chun. "I'll be the leader of this mission. I believe that General Feng has already told you. I have already seen your information. Xiao Chun, since you're good at movement techniques, you will be the scout and lead the way." Scouting was a very dangerous job. However, Xiao Chun did not mind. Even if he faced a sovereign personage, he would be able to protect himself. Without saying anything more, Xiao Chun nodded. Then, he stopped resting and went ahead to scout the way. This mixed-blood dragon is rather tactful. He knows that he is weak and does not have the authority to speak. He is self-aware. He knows that he can only rely on the 6 of us for this mission. It would already be good if he did not implicate us. I really don't understand. How did he become a core disciple with such a low cultivation? Or is the Heaven Dragon Palace already so weak? Seeing Xiao Chun go far away, the 6 immediately revealed their disdain for mixed-blood dragons in their hearts. Murong Yin knew how strong Xiao Chun was, but he did not want to say anything, so he did not interrupt. Wei Hongfei said indifferently, "Let's continue discussing how to complete this mission. This matter is very important, so we need to be careful." Chapter 1901. Xiao Chun did not have many complaints about such an arrangement, taking the lead to scout ahead. As long as he could complete the mission, it was sufficient. Xiao Chun left the group and moved quickly, not wasting any time along the way. He did not bother with the ghostly beasts he encountered. For hours later, he suddenly felt a strange aura. Xiao Chun stopped and gently pushed off with his feet, taking 3 steps back. 2 black figures appeared. They were tall and sturdy, and their feet were like cow hooves. 2 humanoid monsters with scarlet hair, jade-green eyes, and sinister faces appeared before Xiao Chun. Rakshasa demons. Xiao Chun's heart skipped a beat. He recognized the horrifying monsters before him. They were the demons that ruled the first underground layer. The 2 Rakshasa demons held weapons in their hands. Their jade-green eyes gleamed as they looked coldly at Xiao Chun. "Kill!" The Rakshasa demons, radiating terrifying demonic chi, did not even think as they launched themselves at Xiao Chun. The 2 Rakshasa demons were only star venerates, pitifully weak. They did not know where they got the courage to launch themselves at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun stood upright without using his great Tao energy when the 2 Rakshasa demons pounced over. When the two Rakshasa demons charged over, he did not retreat, but advanced instead, taking the initiative to attack them first. Boom! The Rakshasa demons instantly fell to the ground, no longer able to get up. Xiao Chen did not give him a chance to shout. He sent out 2 strands of saber chi and silently finished off the 2 Rakshasa demons. After that, he unleashed the heavenly flame and burned the 2 Rakshasa demons' corpses to ashes. I ran into the Rakshasa demons' patrols. It looks like we should be arriving at the dragon race's stronghold soon. Xiao Chen muttered to himself. He no longer charged forward as ferociously as before, looking into the distance. After Xiao Chen discovered a rather high terrain, he gently landed on it. Then, he opened his heavenly eye and looked ahead. In front of them was a vast plain. On the plain, there was a ruined city. He could vaguely make out that this was the dragon race's stronghold. However, the Rakshasa demons clearly did not like the dragon race's aesthetics. They directly demolished the entire city into rubble. Tens of thousands of Rakshasa demons were scattered all over the rubble. In the sky, there were also many tamed ghost beasts flying. Sitting on top of them were Rakshasa demons who were obviously stronger. When Xiao Chen saw this, he sucked in a breath of cold air. He already knew that this mission was very dangerous. He had not expected it to be so dangerous. With so many Rakshasa demons trapped, the consequences would be unimaginable. In the center of the ruins of Dragon City stood a tall building that looked like a tower. There were countless ancient stones piled up together. The stone had already been dyed red with blood. The entire altar gave Xiao Chen an extremely absurd feeling. Amidst the solemnity, there was an evil and terrifying demonic nature. Above the altar stood a statue of the first underworld king, Rakshasa Tian. At the foot of the statue, there were a few Rakshasa demons resting with their eyes closed. They should be the guardians of the altar. There was a total of 8 people. Every guard gave off the aura of a holy venerate. These Rakshasa demons wore armor, and their facial features were no different from humans. However, there was a bone spike protruding from each shoulder. Afraid of alerting the enemy, Xiao Chen did not dare to look too closely, so he withdrew his heavenly eye. Xiao Chen was not in a rush to leave. As he looked at the city ruins in the distance, he entered deep thought, thinking about how to complete this mission. After thinking about it, Xiao Chen felt a headache. Even if he managed to sneak through the Rakshasa demon army and destroy the altar, killing his way out would still be a huge problem. After taking one more look and imprinting the surroundings into his mind, Xiao Chen turned around and left. Just as Xiao Chen turned around, the 8 guardians sitting at the foot of the Rakshasa Tian statue suddenly opened their eyes and slowly closed them. It was like they discovered something, but also like they did not know anything. After returning to the group, Xiao Chen told Wei Hongfei, Murong Yin, and the others what he saw. Could it be that General Feng agreed so readily? He is clearly sending us to our deaths. The Silver Dragon Palace Core, disciple Lu Feng, said with some dissatisfaction. Lu Feng, the Silver Dragon Palace Core disciple, said with some dissatisfaction on his face. However, Wei Hongfei remained calm. There is a special note on the mission. Since you accepted it, you should have expected the difficulty. Furthermore, if the mission was not difficult, how could the reward be so high, reaching 20,000 primeval heavenly pills? Lu Feng said softly, I was just saying, since you accepted the mission, you cannot back out midway. The Flame Dragon army had already gathered. They were just waiting for them to destroy the fiend god altar. There was no time to dilly-dally. The group picked up their pace. Even with their full speed, they were not slow. When the group arrived at their previous location, the expressions of the other 6 changed. Even the previously calm Wei Hongfei frowned heavily. Listening to Xiao Chen's explanation was one thing. Seeing it for oneself was another. Murong Yin was flabbergasted. Had I known, I would have made a will. The tens of thousands of Rakshasa demons stopped in the city ruins, occupying the dragon's gate's original stronghold. That fiend god altar happened to be in the center of the city ruins. Lu Feng asked sullenly, Is there any way to sneak in silently? Wei Hongfei shook his head and said, Clearly, that is impossible. If we can enter silently, we will not be able to do so. If we could sneak in silently, General Feng would have already sent someone to do it. There would not be a chance for us to do it, and the mission reward would not be so large. Xiao Chun thought to himself, if I want to sneak in, someone needs to stand out and attract the attention of most of the Rakshasa demons. At least half of the Rakshasa demons have to be lured away before the others can sneak in. Murong Yin and I will attract them from the front. The 5 of you will take the opportunity to sneak in. This is the signal flag. I'll leave it to you, Lu Feng. Wei Hongfei took out a flag and handed it to Lu Feng. Then, he made some simple arrangements. There was no shortcut in the current situation. This was the only way. Lu Feng was rather decisive, not hesitating at all. Murong Yin, you don't have any objections, right? Wei Hongfei asked as he looked at Murong Yin. Murong Yin smiled and replied, Since when did the Red Dragon race have people who are afraid of death? Since you dare to stand out, why would I not? Murong Yin's words put the core disciples of the other palaces to shame. If it were them, they would hesitate for a long time if they went to attract the enemy's attention with Wei Hongfei. After all, not everyone could be like the Golden Dragon Palace's core disciples, so confident and unafraid of death. Rakshasa race, does anyone dare to fight with me? Wei Hongfei? Boom! Wei Hongfei soared into the clouds, his entire body radiating resplendent golden light. A horrifying dragon might spread out from his body. The moment the glaring Wei Hongfei appeared in the dark space, he attracted the attention of all the Rakshasa demons in the rubble. Strands of golden dragon chi revolved around Wei Hongfei's body. The golden dragon light dyed the clouds in the sky above his head. They were dyed with golden feathers and looked particularly dazzling. This person is nearly a grade 6 golden dragon bloodline. Xiao Chun evaluated. This Wei Hongfei was indeed extraordinary. The Golden Dragon Palace lived up to its reputation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The moment Wei Hongfei appeared, several figures immediately flew towards him. These were all Rakshasa race experts. They gave off terrifying demonic chi and showed ferocious expressions. However, when these Rakshasa race experts got within 100 meters of Wei Hongfei, golden light flickered in the air. Wei Hongfei exploded 6 Rakshasa demons with one punch. The Rakshasa demons turned into a blood mist spreading out in the air. Ha ha! Is there no one in the Rakshasa race who can truly fight me? Wei Hongfei laughed maniacally. The dragon might spreading out in the sky became even stronger. The golden clouds burned like flames. Bang! 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 Just at this moment, a pillar of fire suddenly burst out of the city and soared into the clouds, illuminating the dark space. Without saying anything, Murong Yin landed in the rubble and started a massacre. Wei Hongfei and Murong Yin were in the sky, attracting the attention of the Rakshasa race experts. The other was on the ground, using the Red Dragon race's unparalleled berserk fire great Dao to massacre everyone. There was no pattern at all. Wherever there were more Rakshasa demons, Murong Yin would end up there. Still not leaving? Xiao Qin asked when he saw that the Silver Dragon Palace's Lu Feng was thinking about something, dilly-dallying and not making a move. Do I need you to instruct me? Lu Feng glared at Xiao Chun and ignored him. Then, he led the other 3 and said, Let's go. Chapter 1902. Under Lu Feng's lead, the 3 silently made their way to the rubble. Xiao Chun did not rush to follow. He was thinking about something else. Would the Rakshasa demons not guess that the Flame Dragon Legion would send people to destroy the altar? Actually, the idea of destroying the altar was rather crazy. The success rate was very low, and the danger level was very high. Normally speaking, the Rakshasa demons would not think of this. Shaking his head, Xiao Chun stopped thinking. His body gently floated up, and he silently arrived beside Lu Feng and the others. Xiao Chen's incredibly fast speed startled the 4. It was as Wei Hongfei said. His movement technique surpassed theirs. Boom! 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 At this moment, Murong Yan's entire body burned with intense flames in the rubble, looking like an ancient fire dragon. With every punch and palm strike, he could send out flames filling the air, filling the surroundings. The Rakshasa demon army appeared somewhat chaotic. Several experts tried to delay Murong Yen. They did not want to give him a chance to cause large-scale destruction. However, Murong Yen's mission was to attract the attention of the Rakshasa demons on the ground. How could he get trapped? Suppressing his temper, Murong Yen laughed maniacally as he moved about without any pattern. It had to be said that Wei Hongfei and Murong Yen were in the sky and on the ground. This created a great opportunity for the four. Wei Hongfei flickered with golden light in the sky. Dragon might spread out in golden clouds. On the ground, Murong Yen was covered in intense flames. The commotion the two caused attracted the attention of nearly all the Rakshasa demons. This resulted in a large gap in the rubble of the city. Lu Feng's group took advantage of this opportunity to move forward silently, quickly approaching the underworld god altar. Boom! 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 Loud sounds rang out continuously. As the group walked through the city, Rakshasa demons filled the surroundings. Occasionally, loud sounds rang out, making everyone show extremely grave expressions. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. Who is it? Suddenly, a small group of Rakshasa demons came out of a broken wall in front. Kill! Xiao Chen's eyes turned cold as he took the initiative to attack. Moving like a ghost, he jabbed the forehead of the Rakshasa demon who spoke. A strand of saber chi shot out from Xiao Chen's fingertip and silently dealt with this Rakshasa demon. His hands did not stop moving. With every move, a Rakshasa demon would die. After Xiao Chun killed the three of them, Lu Feng and the rest finally reacted. They quickly took action and killed the remaining Rakshasa demons in the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint. Fortunately, Lu Feng and the others were not weak. After they reacted, they quickly killed their enemies. This small group of devil cultivator was quickly eliminated and did not cause any big waves. When Lu Feng's gaze landed on Xiao Chun, a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. Xiao Chun turned his head and said indifferently, "Follow me." There was something special about him, something that caused people to trust him and follow behind him. Lu Feng was far inferior to Wei Hongfei. Xiao Chun thought for a moment before deciding to lead the team himself. The mission was too important to fail. With Xiao Chun leading the team, the group moved even faster. Xiao Chen's spiritual sense was very sharp, allowing him to avoid the Rakshasa demon groups in advance. While the situation was chaotic, Xiao Chun led the four to the underworld god altar. Along the way, they occasionally ran into some unavoidable encounters. However, Xiao Chun would always end the battle quickly. Several times, he managed to avoid any mishaps. He did not expose himself and trigger an even larger encounter. Stop! Xiao Chun suddenly stopped, and the people behind him quickly stopped. Lu Feng looked at the underworld god altar, which was less than 10 kilometers away, and said, "You really think that you are the leader? Move aside, charge up the altar, and end the mission." After saying that, Lu Feng ignored Xiao Chen's attempts to stop him and moved past Xiao Chun. Whoosh! The moment Lu Feng passed Xiao Chun, the Rakshasa Tian statue on the underworld god altar suddenly opened a pair of scarlet eyes. A scarlet light descended from the sky and encased Lu Feng's figure. Lu Feng had nowhere to hide within 10 kilometers. The 8 guards on the altar also opened their eyes and stared at Lu Feng coldly. Whoosh! 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 Countless Rakshasa demons rushed over from all directions, charging at Lu Feng. Although the situation in the rubble was chaotic, the guard around the altar and above did not show any signs of panic or distraction. Countless Rakshasa demons rushed over from all directions, charging at Lu Feng. Although the situation in the rubble was chaotic, the guards around the altar and above did not show any signs of panic or distraction. It was obvious that those who were able to guard the Nether God altar were all elites. It's over. We were exposed. It's really over. Not only can we not complete the mission, but we can't leave either. Xiao Chun and the others hid at the back. However, when they saw the many Rakshasa demons rushing over, their faces turned ashen. Lu Feng, who felt Rakshasa Tion's gaze, immediately panicked. Not only did he feel a demonic might pressing down on him, but he also felt the fear of impending death. Furthermore, Xiao Chun felt the fear of impending death. The elite Rakshasa demons rushing over from all directions placed immense pressure on him. It was like many grim reapers holding scimitars to reap their souls. Since we're already exposed, there's no need to think anymore. Attack! Xiao Chun sighed to himself. Without hesitation, he leaped into the air and pushed away the distracted Lu Feng with a palm strike. As Xiao Chun stood before the underworld god altar, he raised his head and met Rakshasa Tion's gaze. Rakshasa Tion, do you really think you can come back to life? Xiao Chun snorted coldly and released his dragon might. Without hesitation, he executed the dragon's gate's secret technique, Firmament's Rage. The colossal palm's fingers were like sabers, carrying a boundless saber intent and lightning as it clawed at the statue. Those who insult the gods must die. The 8 high-ranked Rakshasa demons suddenly stood up and attacked at the same time. They all executed their best moves, shattering the colossal palm before it reached them. The 8 people on the altar paled slightly as they took a step back. Blood leaked out of a corner of their lips. Clearly, they had underestimated the might of Firmament's Rage and suffered a huge rebound. Bang! 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 The fragments of the colossal burning palm contained the rage of a great desolate Aeon ancestor dragon. They were not that easy to extinguish. They landed on the ground and blasted away the Rakshasa demon elites that rushed over. I'll cover you. Quickly charge up the altar. Since they were already exposed, there was naturally no need to think about anything else. There was only one thing to do, kill. At the crucial moment, Xiao Chun stepped forward, reigniting hope in the hearts of the group, whose morale had plummeted. Without any hesitation, they all rushed to the altar. Many thanks. Lu Feng showed an ashamed expression, feeling too ashamed to show his face. He simply had not expected that he could not even compare to the mixed blood dragon, Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun said indifferently, I'm not trying to save you. I just don't want to fail the mission. Let's go. Provoked by Xiao Chen's cold attitude, Lu Feng snorted coldly and led the others up the altar. The altar was covered in divine might. Under heavy pressure, even movement techniques were restricted. It would not be easy to climb up. Soon, the 1,000-odd Rakshasa demon elites that were blasted away by the shock waves of Firmament's Rage rallied and charged over. If these people harassed Lu Feng and the others who were climbing the altar, they would not have a chance to climb it. All of you, come over. Xiao Chun struck the ground heavily with his tyrant saber. Then, he drove the primal chaos veritable essence energy in his 9-star primal core. The Taiji force field encased the surrounding 10 kilometers. A huge Taiji diagram spun wildly on the ground. A strong suction pulled over the 1,000-odd Rakshasa demon elites that wanted to stop Lu Feng and the others from climbing the altar. The many Rakshasa demons were horrified to discover that they could not control themselves as they surged over to Xiao Chun. A strange force stuck to their bodies, preventing them from executing their movement techniques and greatly affecting their speed. Even so, the 1,000-odd Rakshasa demons were too horrifying in numbers. Clang! 2 Dao discs appeared behind Xiao Chun, and he drew his saber. A saber light flashed, and 10 Rakshasa demons near him had their throats slit, dying on the spot. However, before Xiao Chun could catch his breath, Rakshasa demons surged over from all directions. Xiao Chun brought out his saber skills to the limits, sending out densely packed saber lights into the crowd. Snowflakes, lightning, bright moons, and all sorts of mysterious phenomena burst out of his body, illuminating the surroundings. Xiao Chun stood on a lightning dragon, howling back and forth. He turned into the light of freedom and dodged most of the attacks. Lu Feng and the others, who were climbing the altar, were greatly startled when they saw Xiao Chun fighting 1,000 alone. The 8 guards on the altar also frowned heavily, finding this scene incredulous. The leader, a high-ranked Rakshasa demon in black battle armor, said sullenly, 4 of you, go down and stop them from climbing the altar. Yes. Whoosh. Immediately, four guards leaped down from the altar and charged at Lu Feng and the others. However, Lu Feng and the others were outstanding. They were core disciples of the various outer palaces and possessed divine dragon bloodlines. In one-on-one combat, they had a high chance of victory. The four Rakshasa demons that descended did not pose much of a hindrance to Lu Feng and the others. Taiji burst. Xiao Chun roared ferociously, and the Taiji force field erupted. The remaining Rakshasa demons were all blasted away. Saber wounds riddled each of the Rakshasa demons. Electricity spread throughout their bodies, making them unrecognizable. Xiao Chun stood upright while holding his saber. His white robes were stained with blood. It was hard to tell whether it was his or his opponent's. In the chaotic battle, Xiao Chun could not be bothered to count how many times he was struck. Xiao Chun raised his gaze and happened to meet the gaze of the black-armored Rakshasa demon standing on the altar. Kill! Xiao Chun leaped into the air and charged at the altar. You overestimate yourself. The black-armored Rakshasa demon showed a mocking expression as he smiled coldly. His right hand grasped the protruding bone on his shoulder and pulled out a slender white bone spike. Just as Xiao Chun charged over, the black-armored Rakshasa demon attacked at lightning speed. Pussy eye. The bone spike pierced through Xiao Chun's right chest, causing blood to spurt out. While Xiao Chun was charging, a strong underworld deity might enveloped him, greatly limiting his speed. Caught off guard, he got injured by the black-armored Rakshasa demon. Furthermore, Xiao Chun managed to dodge at the critical moment. Otherwise, if the bone spike pierced through his chest, he would have been severely injured. The black-armored Rakshasa demon had a handsome face, unlike an ordinary Rakshasa demon. Blood dripped from his slender bone spike. The black-armored Rakshasa demon placed the spike on his tongue and gently licked it. Then he smiled strangely and said, "It tastes pretty good. After this battle, I will properly enjoy your physical body." Three high-ranked Rakshasa demons stood behind the black-armored Rakshasa demon. Their jade-green eyes stared coldly at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun stopped the blood from spurting out of his wound. Then, he glanced at Lu Feng and the others fighting on the altar. They had more or less gained the upper hand. However, when the Rakshasa demons charged over, they would still face the black-armored Rakshasa demons group of four. Their chances of victory were not high. Xiao Chun snorted coldly. Then, his body suddenly turned into a flash of lightning, charging to the bottom of the altar. In the blink of an eye, it circled around the altar and spun rapidly upward. Rumble! The rapidly spinning electric light illuminated the surroundings, kicking up boundless strong winds that kicked up sand and pebbles, covering the sky. The strong winds made it hard for the black-armored Rakshasa demons group of four to open their eyes, and their bodies trembled slightly. Xiao Chun, who had turned into lightning, resisted the underworld god might, continuously draining his primal chaos veritable essence energy. When Xiao Chun was about to fly to the top of the altar, he suddenly turned into a lightning dragon and roared at the black-armored Rakshasa demons group of four. The dragon roar spread out in all directions, shaking the sky. Before this shocking heaven dragon roar, the black-armored Rakshasa demons group of four could not help taking several steps back above the altar. Scram! The black-armored Rakshasa demon shouted, withstanding the pressure, and unleashed his aura. Then, he led the four Rakshasa demons to charge at the lightning dragon, trying to chase Xiao Chun down. Who knew? The lightning dragon split into 9, not bothering them at all. Instead, it continuously circled around the 3-kilometer-tall Rakshasa Tian statue. 9 dragons soared into the sky, triggering a terrifying, mysterious phenomenon. At some point in time, layers of thunderclouds covered the sky above the underworld monarch Rakshasa Tian. Bolts of lightning tore through the sky. Oh no, he is going to destroy the statue. The black-armored Rakshasa demon's expression changed drastically. In a fluster, he quickly formed hand seals. The 3 behind him cut their wrists at the same time, and blood splattered on the Rakshasa Tian statue. Forced by the situation, This group of people prepared to summon the underworld monarch Rakshasa, Tian's clone. Chapter 1903. 9 dragons instantly dodged the attacks of the black-armored Rakshasa and the other 3 high-level Rakshasas and flew into the sky. The black-armored Rakshasa decisively chose to summon Rakshasa Tian. Rather than letting it be destroyed by you, it would be better to waste this summoning opportunity and kill all of these invaders. Swish, swish, swish. Rocks peeled off the surface of Rakshasa Tian's 3,000-meter-tall statue. The might of the underworld monarch continued to strengthen. The expressions of Lu Feng and the other 3, who had already gained the upper hand, changed slightly. After a moment of shock, they decisively retreated. While the scene before him was unexpected, it was still within his expectations. The best outcome of the mission was to destroy the altar. The worst outcome was to fail the mission. The other possibility was to force the other party to summon the Netherworld King's altar ahead of time. The Netherworld King's altar obviously couldn't summon the Rakshasa race every day. Otherwise, the Rakshasa race would have long since become invincible in the Netherworld. They could only summon it once every half a month. Replenishing the offerings required time, and the altar itself also needed maintenance. Before the battle officially started, Rakshasa Tian had already been summoned. To the Flame Dragon army, this was undoubtedly an acceptable result. But for Shao Chun and the others, it was almost a death sentence. It was already difficult for him to escape. Now that Rakshasa Tian's clone had appeared, would he still have a chance to escape? Lu Feng took out the signal flag, spun it at the bottom, and shot it into the sky. Immediately, the war flag burned in the sky like a star. Its color kept changing until it finally settled on red. In the air, Wei Hongfei, who was fighting several late-stage holy venerate Rakshasa demons, felt a terrifying underworld monarch might sweep over. Raising his gaze, Zhang Xian happened to see Rakshasa Tian's sculpture peeling off. He couldn't help but be stunned. With the appearance of the Nether God, all of you will definitely die. When the Rakshasa demons surrounding Wei Hongfei saw this scene, they smiled coldly. Their attacks became even sharper. Boom! However, just at this moment, Wei Hongfei's eyes suddenly burned, turning into a golden light. Shao Chun instantly activated his Great Desolate Ian bloodline, and the dragon might of the ancient Great Desolate Ian Golden Dragon race enveloped him. The Berserk Dragon might immediately force the group back. Wei Hongfei casually glanced at the other people in the chaos. Then, he used the Great Desolate Ian Dragon might to turn and flee. In this kind of situation, there was no chance for him to take care of the others. Even he himself might not be able to escape. Wei Hongfei was extremely decisive. He turned into a beam of golden light and fled far away with the Great Desolate Ian Dragon might. The dragon's might was vast and mighty, and almost no one could withstand it. Very soon, a path was torn open by him. Chase them. When his bloodline is exhausted, it will be the time of his death. The Rakshasa demon expert that was knocked back clearly did not intend to let Wei Hongfei off so easily. Turning into a demonic light, it whizzed away in hot pursuit. Looks like I'm really going to die here. The somewhat fatigued Murong Yin looked at the Rakshasa demons surrounding him. When he sensed that Rakshasa Tian's clone was about to appear, despair flashed in his eyes. Although Wei Hongfei attracted the attention of most of the Rakshasa demon experts, Murong Yin faced the entire Rakshasa demon army alone. Although there were not many experts, many ants could kill an elephant. Compared to Wei Hongfei, Shao Chun had activated his Great Desolate Ian bloodline long ago. It was almost impossible to use it to save his life. The Rakshasa demons surrounding him from all directions, in the sky and on the ground, did not dare to act rashly. The Berserk Red Dragon race had left too deep an impression on these Rakshasa demons. Murong Yin felt stifled. His entire body was bathed in blood as he breathed heavily and looked around. Murong Yin's thoughts were simple. Before he died, he would kill more. When comparing the two, it was hard to say who was right and who was wrong. However, it was clear that Murong Yin's thoughts were much more straightforward than Wei Hongfei's. What Murong Yin showed was the difference in intelligence. The underworld monarch statue's intelligence. 9 lightning dragons soared into the sky. Then, the 9 lightning dragons merged together in the thundercloud whirlpool in the sky. The instant Shao Chun appeared, countless electric lights burst out of his body. When Shao Chun looked around, he saw that Lu Feng and the others had already left. In just 1 second, Shao Chun analyzed the situation before him. Oh no! Half of the underworld monarch Rakshasa Tian statue had already fallen. In a while, the underworld monarch's clone would arrive. At that time, no matter how capable Shao Chun was, he would die here. Run, you lowly mixed blood dragon. The underworld monarch has appeared. Ha ha ha, you will die for sure. The black-armored Rakshasa demon laughed maniacally as he formed hand seals and looked at Shao Chun, who was in the air. The horrifying underworld monarch's might already swept through the entire battlefield. All the Rakshasa demons felt greatly encouraged. The fleeing Rakshasa demons were all in sorry states. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The sound of rocks falling off the underworld monarch Rakshasa Tian statue was like the death god's talisman, disturbing everyone's emotions. Should I flee? Where can I flee to? With the appearance of Rakshasa Tian's clone, there is nowhere to flee to. I can only fight. Black clouds spread out under the thundercloud whirlpool. Shao Chun activated his great desolate Ian bloodline. Golden light flashed in his eyes, looking like a burning divine flame. However, before the light could spread out, Shao Chun closed his eyes. The tyrant saber in Shao Chun's right hand flew out and spun in the air, flickering with boundless electric light. Buddhist sect's 7-kill seal. A Buddhist swastika appeared on Shao Chun's forehead. Then he formed hand seals with his right hand and activated his great desolate Ian bloodline. The incomparably horrifying killing intent covered the entire city ruins. In an instant, it suppressed the underworld monarch's might, causing all the Rakshasa demons to freeze for some reason. The killing intent assaulted them, and their movement stiffened. It was like a lotus flower not soaking in water or the sun and moon not staying in the sky. The horrifying killing intent surged and burned like a killing god born in an ancient battlefield returning to the mortal realm. However, Shao Chun's heart remained incredibly calm. If someone of the Buddhist sect used their dharma eye to look, they would find the entire city ruins filled with an incredibly turbid aura. Only Shao Chun gave off a gentle light, separating him from the overwhelming killing intent. However, despite being in water, Shao Chun did not get wet at all. This was an extremely profound state. What is he doing? The black-armored Rakshasa demon's summoning of Rakshasa Tian slowed down for a moment. What is he doing? Naturally, he was borrowing life from heaven, risking his life to obtain a chance of survival. Kill! Shao Chun ferociously opened his eyes. At this moment, the underworld monarch Rakshasa Tian also appeared. A dark light illuminated the surroundings. Rakshasa Tian looked up, and a pair of jade-green eyes erupted with a terrifying will that entered Shao Chun's soul pool. If an ordinary person were here, they would instantly be overwhelmed by the fear of Rakshasa Tian. They would not move at all, just stand there in a daze. However, Shao Chun, who was in the sky, did not show any fear when facing Rakshasa Tian's clone. Shao Chun stretched out his hand, and the tyrant's saber, which had been spinning in the air several times, came out of its scabbard. A melodious saber hum resounded in the surroundings. Resolving the mundane. Resolving the mundane meant that one had no desires, no joy, no sorrow, and was immune to all mental attacks and negative emotions. After activating his great desolate Ian bloodline and using the 7-kill seal to execute Resolving the Mundane, the might of Shao Chun's saber strike had already reached an incredible level. Boom! The saber descended. Before Rakshasa Tian, who had just appeared, could understand what was going on. The eternal and inextinguishable saber light on the tyrant's saber chopped Rakshasa Tian in half. The saber's momentum did not stop there. When it landed on the altar, aside from the black-armored Rakshasa demon, The other 3 high-ranked Rakshasa demons immediately died. Rumble. When this saber strike landed, it destroyed the entire altar. Before the underworld monarch Rakshasa Tion's clone could do anything, Shao Chun destroyed it with one saber strike. Lu Feng and the other dragon race disciples, who were fleeing, were all stunned, deeply shocked by this saber strike. Before the shock wave scattered, the great desolate Ian bloodline in Shao Chun's body slowly faded. After wiping away the blood at the corner of his lips, Shao Chun revealed a smile. I won the bet. Shao Chun gambled that the moment Rakshasa Tion descended would be the moment he was at his weakest. If this saber strike did not kill Rakshasa Tion's clone, Shao Chun, who faced it head-on in the next second, would be instantly killed. Fortunately, Shao Chun won the bet. Go! Shao Chun shouted, and a scarlet light spread out. The demon blood vulture soared into the air with Shao Chun on its back. On the demon blood vulture's back, Shao Chun consumed several medicinal pills, primeval heavenly pills, underworld heart pills, and blood circulation pills. Then, he closed his eyes and recuperated. Fortunately, the demon blood vulture did not come out from the start, conserving its strength. Carrying Shao Chun, the demon blood vulture charged forward, carving out a bloody path in the sky. After recovering a little, Shao Chun opened his eyes. Then, he suddenly saw Murong Yin below, cornered. His armor was shattered, and wounds covered his body. His eyes were listless, and he appeared fatigued. His body wobbled, but he gritted his teeth and held on. This fellow, without hesitation, Shao Chun descended from the sky and turned into a flash of lightning, piercing through the many Rakshasa demons riding ghostly beasts in the sky. Just as the Rakshasa demons approached, the lightning turned into a lightning dragon that pushed them back in all directions. The Rakshasa demons circled around Murong Yin, carrying him and turning into a lightning dragon storm that soared into the sky. After knocking away the Rakshasa demons in the sky, the storm scattered. Then, Shao Chun and Murong Yin landed on the demon blood vulture's back. Ha ha! To think that this great me is still alive. I, Murong Yin, am indeed very lucky. Murong Yin, who landed on the demon blood vulture's back, rejoiced endlessly. However, he did not say any words of thanks to Shao Chun. However, Shao Chun had seen this many times. It did not matter. He closed his eyes and took the opportunity to recover. Back then, when Situ Chongfeng saved Shao Chun several times, this fellow did not even say a word of thanks. This kind of person was stupid. He felt that saving him was the right thing to do, that there was nothing wrong with it. However, one day, if Shao Chun got into trouble, he would definitely risk his life to save Shao Chun. He didn't need to ask for a word of thanks. In his opinion, this was also something that should be done. Chapter 1904. Shao Chun, you are really something. To think that a mixed blood dragon like you could produce such a talent. How strange, Murong Yin said excitedly when he saw Shao Chun open his eyes. Shao Chun replied expressionlessly, I'm from the Heaven Dragon Palace. Huh, isn't the Heaven Dragon Palace a mixed blood dragon palace? Say another word, and I'll throw you off. Seeing that Shao Chun did not seem to be joking, Murong Yin laughed embarrassedly. Never mind. Relying on the demon blood vulture to display its divine might, it carried the two forward, forcefully carving out a path. Dust clouds churned in the rubble of the underworld king's altar. The black-armored Rakshasa demon walked out of the rubble with a weak expression and a heavy frown. Rage flashed in his eyes. The moment Rakshasa Tion's clone appeared, it was destroyed by someone else. Rakshasa Tion could not accept the fact that Rakshasa Tion worshipped the underworld monarch as a god. Just at this moment, a black-clad man walked out from behind the rubble. This black-clad man had a perfect figure. His arms were bare, and his muscles bulged. His eyes were spirited, and his expression was stern. However, there was a disharmonious scar on the right side of his face. The appearance of the scar changed that handsome face's aura, making him look tyrannical and ferocious. Yin Songming, I followed your instructions and summoned this underworld king's clone in advance. If things did not proceed as you said, neither you nor I would be able to bear the consequences, the black-armored Rakshasa demon said through clenched teeth as he looked at this black-clad man. Rakshasa Tion could transform into thousands of clones. One clone was nothing. However, to the black-armored Rakshasa demon, it was a humiliation. In the future, he would inevitably be mocked by the Rakshasa demons. However, to Shao Chun, this was a humiliation. In the future, he would inevitably be mocked by the Rakshasa demons. It might even become a reason for the black-armored Rakshasa demon to be attacked. He could not help but feel angry. The scarred Yin Songming said indifferently, "Don't worry. The Flame Dragon Legion should be on their way already. Lord Wu Ting made preparations long ago, just waiting for them to come in. After this, the Dragon's Gates faction will not develop in the first layer of the abyssal underworld for 10 years. Besides, it's not like you don't know the trump card I prepared. What's there to worry about?" When the black-armored Rakshasa demon heard Yin Songming mention trump cards, his expression eased up slightly. However, he said playfully, "You Flood Dragon humans are still the best at dealing with these dragon race cultivators. After all, we were once of the same race." So, this man with a scar on his face was a merman. It was a little hard to tell. A murderous intent flashed in Yin Songming's heart, but his face did not change. After a while, he suppressed his murderous intent. "What do you think of that dragon race cultivator who shattered Rakshasa Tion's clone with one saber strike?" The black-armored Rakshasa demon asked as he looked at Yin Songming. Yin Songming looked into the distance and said, "Very strong. The mixed blood dragon bloodline has not produced such a horrifying character for many years already. However, due to the limitations of the bloodline, it would be hard for them to have any future in the current divine dragon empire." "Are you that certain?" The black-armored Rakshasa demon asked softly. Shao Chen's last attack had left a deep impression on him. It was hard to imagine how terrifying such a person would be in the future. However, from Yin Songming's words, there was no need to worry about Shao Chun becoming someone great. After thinking for a long time, Yin Songming said indifferently, "If the mixed-blood dragons were not forced into such a miserable state, how could most of them have followed the Black Dragon King into the abyssal underworld back then?" "Shut up. Don't mention those 3 words. The black-armored Rakshasa demon suddenly raged. His expression turned sullen as he unreasonably interrupted Yin Songming. The words Black Dragon King were taboo in the 9 layers of the abyssal underworld. No one was allowed to mention them. Yin Songming glanced at the black-armored Rakshasa demon and said softly, "It is time to make preparations. I have to rush over to Lord Wu Ting's side. I'll leave this place to you." After saying that, Yin Songming's figure flashed, disappearing into the darkness. Outside Flame Dragon City, most of the Flame Dragon army had already gathered. They were ready to move out, preparing to take back their stronghold. War chariots gathered in the wilderness. Warships filled the sky. Tens of thousands of dragon race cultivators waited in formation, exuding an invisible dragon might that spread out with vast might. General Feng had already seen Lu Feng's signal. The Netherworld King's statue being activated ahead of time was an acceptable situation. The Flame Dragon army could accept this. However, to the 7 people carrying out the mission, this was the outcome they were most unwilling to face. When Rakshasa Tion's clone descended, it would be fortunate if one of the 7 could escape. "General, it's almost time." The adjutant reminded him softly. General Feng collected his thoughts, and a burning flame flashed in his eyes. He shouted, "Flame Dragon Army, depart!" Rumble. Immediately, the horses with dragon blood galloped and roared. The war chariots sped along, causing the ground to tremble. In the sky, the battleships flew together, covering the sky. The Flame Dragon Army advanced at lightning speed, tens of thousands of people in the army. Surprisingly, they were not any slower than Shao Chen's group of 7. The entire army was like a precise machine. As time passed, this machine spun faster and faster. Tens of thousands of Flame Dragon Legion soldiers. From afar, it looked like a giant burning dragon had turned into a ball of flames at low altitude. It was a graceful sight. In mere moments, This army covered 50,000 kilometers. It was somewhat startlingly fast. Everywhere the army passed, the ghostly beasts in its way instantly turned to ashes. Even a lone sovereign personage would have to flee for their lives when facing this army, not daring to show off their sharpness. On a sand dune, Wei Hongfei, who had escaped the pursuit of the pursuers, heaved a sigh of relief and landed on the sand dune. Then he swallowed a medicinal pill and closed his eyes to regulate his breathing. His grade 6 golden dragon race, divine dragon bloodline, helped him recover quickly. After about 15 minutes, Wei Hongfei suddenly opened his eyes. He saw two figures rushing towards him in the dark night. The aura of the dragon race. When these two approached, Wei Hongfei discovered that they were Lu Feng and another White Dragon Palace Core disciple. Brother Wei. Upon seeing Wei Hongfei, Lu Feng and the other White Dragon Palace Core disciple rejoiced and quickly landed on the sand dune. Wei Hongfei asked, "Where are the others?" Lu Feng still had bloodstains on his face, appearing to be in a sorry state. He sighed and said, "I saw the Rakshasa demons surround and kill Brother Hong and Brother Ma. Xiao Chun and Murong Yin do not know. However, they probably will not be able to escape." Murong Yin went without saying. He had long activated his great desolate Ian bloodline and attracted so many Rakshasa demons. He would not be able to escape death. As for Xiao Chun, he would definitely be extremely weak after that saber strike. Furthermore, Xiao Chun was in the center of the rubble, surrounded by Rakshasa demon elites. He would probably die as well. If Brother Xiao Chun died, it would be a pity. If he had not killed that Underworld Monarch clone at the last moment, he would not have died. If he had not killed that Underworld Monarch clone at the last moment, Brother Lu and I would not have stood a chance of escaping. When the White Dragon Palace Core disciple thought of Xiao Chen's saber strike, he still felt shocked. What? Wei Hongfei was greatly startled. He immediately stood up, appearing horrified. Say that again? Xiao Chun destroyed Rakshasa Tion's clone with one saber strike? It is absolutely true. Brother Lu and I saw it with our own eyes. Lu Feng did not dare to lie. He nodded in confirmation. If not for Xiao Chen's saber strike, he would have died long ago. Even if Rakshasa Tion had not made a move, his sovereign might would have supported the Rakshasa demons, greatly increasing the Rakshasa demon strength. Xiao Chen was lucky to escape now. Furthermore, he had to face a much stronger Rakshasa army. Wei Hongfei's expression flickered. He tightly clenched his right fist, and a complicated expression appeared in his eyes. The moment Rakshasa Tion's clone appeared, as a Golden Dragon Palace Core disciple, Wei Hongfei's first thought was to flee. However, Xiao Chun, a mixed blood dragon cultivator, actually dared to do something that Wei Hongfei did not dare to do, risking his life. Xiao Chun had invisibly surpassed Wei Hongfei. The Golden Dragon race was now the Orthodox race. Every one of them was incredibly proud. Such a result embarrassed Wei Hongfei. If Wei Hongfei dared to risk his life, he might have a chance to kill Rakshasa Tion, who had just appeared. However, Wei Hongfei did not dare to gamble. If he could not kill Rakshasa Tion, he would die for sure. Just this point alone made Wei Hongfei lose to Xiao Chun completely. No, we have to go back and save Xiao Chun. Even if we cannot save him, we have to retrieve his corpse. We cannot allow the demons to trample on his corpse, Wei Hongfei said seriously. Determination flashed in Wei Hongfei's eyes. Senior Brother Wei. Senior Brother Wei. The two quickly stopped Wei Hongfei. What kind of joke was this? If they charged back in their current state, they would just be sending themselves to death. I've already made up my mind. There is no need for the two of you to follow me. Actually, Wei Hongfei still had some combat prowess. From the start to the end, he had been holding back. He still had some trump cards that he had not used. However, he was stirred up by Xiao Chun risking his life to kill Rakshasa Tion's clone. He decided to go back and take a gamble. If Xiao Chun was still alive, it would all be worth it. Lu Feng urged anxiously, Senior Brother Wei, the two of us are grateful to Xiao Chun for saving our lives. However, if we go back now, we will just be sending ourselves to death. There is no need. Rumble. Just at this moment, the ground trembled endlessly. Cracks appeared on the mound. A surging dragon might surged over, instantly flattening the 1-kilometer-tall mound. The two immediately rejoiced. The Flame Dragon Legion had arrived. They were now completely safe. The adjutant beside General Feng waved the flag, and the fast-moving Flame Dragon Legion came to a halt. "This is great. We are truly fortunate. 3 of you are still alive." When General Feng saw Wei Hongfei's group, joy flashed in his eyes. Originally, he thought that it would be pretty good if one of them survived. General Feng fixed his gaze on Wei Hongfei and smiled. "You truly live up to being a Golden Dragon Palace core disciple. The Golden Dragon bloodline is indeed extraordinary, living up to your reputation. I will fulfill your request after the battle. I will also report the military merits." Wei Hongfei said, "General, there is something you do not know." After making up his mind, Wei Hongfei told General Feng the truth about Xiao Chun killing Rakshasa Tian's clone. There really is such a thing. General Feng was a sovereign personage. However, the shock on his face was no less than Wei Hongfei's. The Heaven Dragon Palace Court disciple Xiao Chun that General Feng worried about the most actually forced the other party to summon the underworld monarch clone. Furthermore, Xiao Chun killed Rakshasa Tian's clone alone. This was simply inconceivable. The mixed blood dragon race had not produced an astonishing character for many years already. Bang! 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 Just at this moment, a huge fireball burned in the sky. The fireball suddenly exploded, turning into countless sparks that lit up the night sky. In that instant, the sky turned as bright as day. All the cultivators in the Flame Dragon Legion squinted slightly, feeling somewhat uncomfortable. Aside from the front, countless figures appeared on 3 sides of the Flame Dragon Legion, densely packed together. These figures wore armor flickering with demonic light and had indistinct scales on their faces. The Flood Dragon humans. General Feng's expression changed slightly. He waved his hand, and the Flame Dragon Legion immediately entered a state of combat. Chapter 1905. Aside from the ground, there were even more ghostly beasts in the air. Each ghostly beast had a Flood Dragon human standing on it. Surrounded on 3 sides, aside from the front, there were no gaps. However, the front led to the Rakshasa race. As expected, the Rakshasa demon army was on its way, completely sealing off the encirclement. General Feng looked around and fixed his gaze on a tall mountain in the distance. A Rakshasa demon with gray bone spikes on his shoulders and a Flood Dragon human cultivator with a scar on his face stood side by side. General Feng's gaze sank as he said coldly, "Wu Ting, what is the meaning of getting a bunch of trash to surround my army? Could it be that you want to rely on this group of useless rebels to surround and kill my Flame Dragon Legion?" Although there were many cultivators surrounding the Flame Dragon Legion, their cultivations were lacking. However, most of their cultivations were lacking. They could not even compare to the Rakshasa demons in the stronghold, much less the Flame Dragon army. Many of them were not even minor primal core venerates. It would not be wrong to call them trash. The Divine Dragon Empire did not have as many people as the dynasty. However, they all had the dragon race bloodline and were stronger in the first place. Those who could enter the Flame Dragon Legion were at least major primal core venerates. Half of the elites were star venerates. Although General Feng was surrounded, he did not show too much worry. The Rakshasa demon on the tall mountain was the sovereign personage Wu Ting. The Flood Dragon human cultivator Yin Sangming stood beside him. Wu Ting smiled faintly. "You are right. Today, I'm going to use this group of Flood Dragon humans to deal with you. This is called using dragons to control dragons. If you think that they are trash, you can take a look at their battle armor first. It will not be too late to decide then. It's the demonic dragon battle armor." The expression of General Feng's adjutant changed drastically when he saw it. The demonic dragon war armor was personally refined by the Black Dragon King. Aside from its strong defense, the demonic dragon war armor was extremely sturdy. Aside from its strong defense, it had a strong suppressive effect on dragon race cultivators. The demonic dragon battle armor could mostly neutralize martial techniques containing the dragon race bloodline and veritable essence energy. Wearing the demonic dragon battle armor immediately weakened the Flame Dragon Legion cultivator's advantage in cultivation. Furthermore, the Flame Dragon Legion had a numerical advantage, several times the Flame Dragon Legions. The situation immediately turned bad. Haha, not bad. You have a good eye. Although this demonic dragon armor is a replica and will be useless after one use, it is enough to wipe out your flame dragon army. Kill. Wu Ting laughed maniacally. The army of 100,000 flood dragon people charged forward without fear of death. I've been tricked. General Feng's heart skipped a beat. It was possible that the Netherworld King's altar was summoned ahead of time by the other party. They were waiting for his army to move out. Someone had already planned all of this. General, what should we do? General Feng's face sank as he said coldly, Charge! Charge out before the Rakshasa demon army arrives. It was not worth it to fight with these flood dragon people. In General Feng's opinion, the flood dragon humans were incomparably lowly. It was not worth it for the dragon race cultivators to exchange their lives with them. In any of the 9 layers of the Netherworld, flood dragon humans would always have the lowest status. In addition, the Dragon Clan itself had a rather negative opinion of this former traitor. The current situation was also one of the bases for General Feng's judgment. Taking back the stronghold was out of the question. As long as they could charge out before the encirclement closed up and protect most of the Flame Dragon army, they would be lucky. General Feng showed a sullen expression as he led the Flame Dragon army forward. The Flood Dragon humans in the rear were in a frenzy as they chased relentlessly. The Flood Dragon humans on both sides continuously harassed them, so their advance was not smooth. Wei Hongfei felt that something was wrong. However, the situation was urgent, so he could not figure out what was wrong. Relying on the Flame Dragon army's strong mobility, the Flame Dragon army charged forward without saying a word. The Flood Dragon humans finally managed to shake off the Flood Dragon humans, encircling them from 3 sides. However, it was too late. Xiao Chun heaved a sigh of relief. The ground suddenly caved in. Before Xiao Chun could understand what was going on, boundless lava spewed out. A trap. Someone had predicted General Feng's move. They guessed that he would not fight to the death with the Flood Dragon humans. The ground exploded, and the horrifying lava of the Netherworld erupted, immediately tearing apart the Flame Dragon Army's formation. Countless Flame Dragon Army cultivators died miserably in an instant. Cries of pain rang out. Several war chariots instantly exploded. The cultivators inside had no space to dodge. The scene was unbearable. Instantly, there were countless casualties. Kill! A chaotic battle broke out. The 3 Flood Dragon humans took advantage of the chaos to charge in, risking getting blasted by the lava. They wanted to prevent the Flame Dragon army from regaining a unified command, maintaining the chaotic situation. What made the Flame Dragon army even more despairing was the rumbling of the inheritance in front. The black-armored Rakshasa demon army had reorganized and blocked the gap. Little brother Yin, your plan is indeed exquisite. Ha 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 ha. I will definitely remember your contribution. After this matter is over, I will ask Rakshasa Heaven for permission to give you a piece of land as your tribe's fief. Wu Ting laughed maniacally. As he watched the Flame Dragon army fall into such a situation, he felt strangely excited. The Flame Dragon army was incredibly strong. It had made the Rakshasa demon army suffer several times already. Wu Ting felt delighted to have this day. Many thanks. Yin Songming remained expressionless. It looked like he was about to succeed in his plan, but he did not show much joy. Even if Yin Songming managed to kill the Flame Dragon army, at least half of his subordinates would die. The Rakshasa demons only needed to block the top. However, the Flood Dragon humans had to enter the lava formation to fight the Flame Dragon army. The difference in treatment was obvious with one glance. However, Yin Songming did not show any dissatisfaction on his face, not showing it at all. A chaotic battle broke out. Blood flew everywhere, and miserable shrieks rang out. In an instant, everyone's eyes turned red from killing, and they fell into a frenzy. It was a complete chaotic battle. The more chaotic the battle, the more advantageous it was for the Flood Dragon humans. That way, the Flame Dragon army's advantage in organization would vanish. Haha, are you thinking of defying heaven and changing your fate? I'll test you out. Seeing that no one could stop General Foam and that he wanted to reorganize his army, Wu Ting laughed maniacally and charged over. The two sovereign personages fought. Instantly, they left a large, empty space in the middle of the battlefield. The strong auras deterred anyone from getting close. If they did, they would die. Yin Songming looked around and fixed his gaze on Wei Hongfei. A cold, murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Golden Divine Dragon. The 6 color Divine Dragons should all die. Whoosh! Yin Songming's figure flashed, and he charged into the battle, landing in front of Wei Hongfei. Wei Hongfei's expression froze slightly. This Flood Dragon human before him actually gave off a dangerous aura. Yin Songming showed a disdainful smile. The scars on his face wiggled, making his face look extremely terrifying. You seem to be injured. In that case, I'll only use half my strength. Come, let me see how strong your Golden Dragon is. You are seeking death. Seeing the other party's disdainful expression, rage immediately flashed in Wei Hongfei's eyes. To think that a Flood Dragon human dared to underestimate him. In the abyssal underworld, a Flood Dragon human was the lowest existence. To think that he dared to mock the Divine Dragon Empire's strongest Golden Dragon race. Bang! In the end, when the two exchanged a palm strike, endless demonic chi poured out of Yin Songming's body. The demonic dragon might in his body immediately surged like the sea, vast and boundless. Yin Songming used a lot of force, and Wei Hongfei vomited a mouthful of blood as he went flying back. You do not even have the strength to force me to use my bloodline power. It looks like you're severely injured. How unfortunate. Killing you like this does not bring me any joy at all. Wei Hongfei retreated quickly on the sea of lava. As he looked at the other party's battle armor, he entered deep thought. Aside from being injured, the bigger reason was that the other party's demonic dragon battle armor blocked most of the force from his palm strike. Most of the Flame Dragon Legion cultivators in the lava sea and the entire battlefield were in a similar predicament as Wei Hongfei. The Flame Dragon Legion cultivators were simply helpless against the other party's demonic dragon battle armor. Even though the other party was only an insignificant venerate, this demonic dragon battle armor, which the Black Dragon King specially developed to counter the dragon race, immediately became problematic. In the distant sky, the demon blood vulture carrying Shao Chun and Murong Yin traveled through the clouds. Suddenly, Murong Yan's and Shao Chen's expressions changed at the same time. A heavy stench of blood penetrated the clouds and spread over, instantly turning the two's expressions grave. It was the blood of dragon race cultivators. How many dragon race cultivators had to die for the stench of blood to soar into the clouds? Shao Chun and Murong Yin both sensed that something major had happened, something very bad. Chapter 1906. When the demon blood vulture saw Shao Chen's gaze, it turned around in the clouds and turned into a beam of scarlet light, rushing towards the battlefield. As the two were fleeing, they had been extremely weak, so they slowed down in their retreat. As a result, Shao Chen slowed down when he left the path of retreat. He focused on recovering himself and did not have time to regroup with the Flame Dragon army. How can it be like this? Soon, the two saw an extremely chaotic and cruel scene. The Flame Dragon Legion was surrounded by Rakshasa demons, who outnumbered them by several times. The Flame Dragon Legion's 20,000-odd Flame Dragon Legion cultivators were split into small groups by Yin Songming's Flood Dragon humans. The Flame Dragon Legion cultivators could not regroup, unable to get into a formation. What was even worse was that the location of the battle was a sea of lava, causing the battle to be even crueler. At every moment, there were Flame Dragon Legion cultivators being killed in this land of lava. Although several Flood Dragon humans died for every Flame Dragon Legion cultivator, such a comparison was worthless. Those flood dragon humans had low cultivations. They relied entirely on their demonic dragon battle armor to qualify to fight the Flame Dragon Legion. Without the demonic dragon battle armor, the Flood Dragon Legion could crush the Flame Dragon Legion and easily break out. The most intense battle was between General Feng and the Rakshasa race sovereign personage Wu Ting. Wu Ting held two bone spikes in his hands. His Thunder Dao might merged with his sovereign personage will, forming a lightning barrier. When fighting General Feng, Wu Ting did not seek to kill his opponent. All he wanted to do was delay him. Whenever a sovereign personage wanted to leave, Wu Ting could not hold him back. Even if the Flame Dragon Legion got destroyed, nothing would happen to General Feng. However, if he was left alone, this was the situation that Wu Ting wanted to see. How could one person's strength reverse the situation? Wu Ting smiled and said, "Even if I let you go now, you will not be able to turn the situation around. Today, the Flame Dragon Legion will be eliminated." General Feng showed a sullen expression, not saying anything. He only attacked even more frantically, venting the rage and dissatisfaction in his heart. The demon blood vulture carried Xiao Chun and Murong Yin far away in the air. Murong Yin felt hot-blooded. Without thinking, he wanted to charge down. Xiao Chun stretched out his hand to stop Murong Yin. Then, he said softly, "Just protect me. There is no need to send yourself to death." "Are you sure?" Murong Yan's heart was already filled with rage. When he saw Xiao Chun blocking him, he felt somewhat upset. "It's better than you going down there to die." Not bothering to explain, Xiao Chun took out the Soul Slayer bow, loosened his grip, and released an arrow. The heart flame on his fingertip merged with the arrow, and it shot into the battlefield without a sound. The arrow was like a beam of dark light. Without a sound, it pierced through the Flood Dragon human's demonic dragon armor and pierced through his heart. The demon dragon armor had a suppressive effect on a dragon race martial artist's true essence. But in front of Xiao Chen's arrows that were fused with his heart fire, it was like paper. Pucci, the Flood Dragon human that was pierced by the arrow, lost all signs of life and died on the spot. The arrow did not stop, piercing through a dozen Flood Dragon humans before stopping. Although the arrows did not pierce the hearts of all the Flood Dragon humans at the back, their demonic dragon armor was completely destroyed. As expected, a look of understanding appeared on Xiao Chen's face. Just as he had expected, the demonic dragon armor could restrain the dragon race. It did not have much of a defense against his heart fire. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, Xiao Chun shot out arrows like dragons, shooting 9 arrows in 1 second. Each arrow pierced through 10 enemies. In 1 second, more than 100 Flood Dragon humans had their demonic dragon armor destroyed. The unlucky ones were even killed by a single arrow and died on the spot. In 10 seconds, more than 1,000 Flood Dragon humans had their demonic dragon armor destroyed. Among them, 100 died instantly. Many of the Flame Dragon Legion cultivators who were fighting felt it was strange that the Flood Dragon human cultivators they were fighting were Flood Dragon humans. Before these Flood Dragon humans understood what was going on, their demonic dragon armor broke and exploded. After losing the demonic dragon armor, these Flood Dragon humans were no match for the Flame Dragon Legion cultivators. These Flame Dragon Legion cultivators could easily kill them with a casual sword strike. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The arrows that Xiao Chun shot all landed in the same direction. Immediately, a gap appeared in the tight encirclement. What's going on? The Flame Dragon Legion's dragon race cultivators found this somewhat strange. However, they could not miss this opportunity. They instinctively rushed towards the gap. The Flame Dragon Legion's momentum, which had fallen to rock bottom, rebounded. The situation of the battlefield changed in an instant. Such an obvious abnormality naturally attracted the attention of the Rakshasa demon's upper echelon and Yin Songming. The same words echoed in everyone's minds. What's going on? It's Xiao Chun. Lu Feng looked around and noticed Xiao Chun and Murong Yin, who were standing on the demon blood vulture in the distant sky. It's Xiao Chun and Murong Yin. These two are not dead yet. Several of the Flame Dragon Legion upper echelon who knew the inside story of the mission, roared in shock. After putting in a lot of effort, Yin Songming pushed Wei Hongfei into a corner. Just as he was about to kill Wei Hongfei, Yin Songming suddenly stopped and looked at Xiao Chun, who was still shooting arrows. Suddenly, he stopped moving and looked at Xiao Chun, who was still shooting out arrows continuously. The Rakshasa demons and flood dragon humans that went to harass Wei Hongfei were either chased away by the demon blood vulture or knocked away by Murong Yin. When these three stood in the sky, they were simply unrivaled. "Damn it!" Yin Songming shouted coldly. He ignored Wei Hongfei and soared into the sky, intending to attack personally. "Stay behind." Wei Hongfei, who was already severely injured, was deeply aware of how horrifying this Yin Songming was. Wei Hongfei, who was already exhausted, burst out with a horrifying aura. Strands of golden dragon chi surrounded him as he continuously soared into the sky. The golden dragon might spread out. A murderous intent flashed in Yin Songming's eyes. He could not do anything but stay behind. The demonic chi on his body surged, exuding the aura of death. Yin Songming's aura changed drastically, and the mysteries of death flickered in his eyes. In that instant, it was like Yin Songming turned into the Grim Reaper of Hell. A black dragon that represented death seemed to circle in the depths of his eyes. Touch of death. Countless strands of black energy containing the death great Tao shot out from the sea of lava, looking like the tentacles of a demon, looking incredibly terrifying. Yin Songming remained expressionless. The scars on his body looked terrifyingly sinister as he ferociously opened his hand. The black energy that shot out turned into countless black tentacles that wrapped around Wei Hongfei. Boom, boom, boom. Wei Hongfei's expression changed slightly. He moved his fists, sending out a dense barrage of attacks. The golden dragon's roar shook the surroundings. Thousands of strands of golden dragon chi flew out continuously, trying to block the black tentacles. Unfortunately, the golden dragon chi that Wei Hongfei sent out immediately corroded when it touched the black tentacles. A miserable shriek rang out. Countless black energy tentacles stabbed thousands of holes in Wei Hongfei's body. Wei Hongfei could not move at all. He was like a huge mutated hand with thousands of fingers. The fingers pierced through his body and held him in the air, preventing him from moving. Black demonic chi slowly covered the golden light in Wei Hongfei's eyes, slowly draining away his life force. Boom! Yin Songming swung his hand, and Wei Hongfei's body knocked away many ghostly beasts in the air before sinking into the sea of lava. Wei Hongfei's fate was unknown. Such a restraint gave Xiao Chun plenty of time to attack. Not only did Xiao Chun not mend the opening, but it even grew larger. The Flame Dragon Legion took advantage of this opportunity to regroup and break out of the encirclement. The Flame Dragon Legion, which had been split up earlier and could not bring out its full combat prowess, finally pulled through at this moment. The exquisite machinery started operating once more, and the entire Flame Dragon Legion became one again. Surging dragon might gathered as the Flame Dragon Legion charged over the Rakshasa demons' corpses and Flood Dragon humans' corpses with an unstoppable aura. At this moment, Wu Ting tried to escape, but General Feng blocked him. Damn it, how can it be like this? How do we break out of a sure-death situation? Wu Ting brandished the bone spike in his hand, feeling enraged. At the same time, he could not understand. On the demon blood vulture's back, Xiao Chun felt dizzy. He held the Soul Slayer bow as he knelt on one knee. Heart Flame was the simplified version of Heart Force. It was formed using the supreme, profound, heavenly heart arts, soul, energy, and veritable essence energy. In such a short time, Xiao Chun exhausted his heart flame without any regard for his life. He instantly overdrew on his recently recovered essence, chi, and mental strength. Whoosh! After breaking out of the harassment, Murong Yin returned to the demon blood vulture's back. Then, he looked at the pale Xiao Chun, who looked like he would collapse at any moment. Murong Yin panicked and quickly supported Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun, Xiao Chun, hold on. Did you manage to break out? Xiao Chun asked in a somewhat weak voice. Murong Yin turned his head back and looked. He saw a long dragon pouring out of the hole that Xiao Chun opened, sweeping through everything in its path. The Flame Dragon Legion gathered the remaining cultivators and successfully broke out of the encirclement. We succeeded, Murong Yin answered quickly. Quickly retreat. Without much thought, Xiao Chun gave the order. The Demon Blood Vulture immediately obeyed. The Demon Blood Vulture's entire body shone with a red light. Kassier, Kassier. Scarlet feathers containing intense poison shot out in all directions. The Demon Blood Vulture immediately cleared out a large space. After finding the right direction, it quickly fled far away. You think you can escape? Death God Profound Chop. Yin Songming, who was chasing with murderous intent, roared ferociously and executed a killing move. The sky tore, and a cold light containing the mysteries of death tore through the sky. Then, it turned into a 30-kilometer-long saber light that locked onto the Demon Blood Vulture and chopped down. Heaven-burning rage. At the crucial moment, Murong Yin did not even think. He turned around and stood before Xiao Chun, then pushed back with a palm strike. Flames burned in the sky for half the day, illuminating the surroundings like it was daytime. Murong Yin's rage surged, blazing with a fierce flame. Rage attacked his heart, and his bloodline burned, making his entire body burn. Murong Yin leaped into the air and controlled the descending flaming palm to block the Death God Profound Chop. Pusi. Who could have imagined that the Death God's profound slash contained the Death Great Tao, which overdrew on Murong Yin's physical body and bloodline? The Death God Profound Chop looked down and chopped down heavily. A mouthful of black blood splattered into the air as Murong Yin fell, half dead. The Demon Blood Vulture quickly caught him. Damn it, he actually blocked it. When Yin Songming saw that Murong Yin blocked his killing move, he felt enraged. Just as Yin Songming was about to make a move, he suddenly saw clouds moving in all directions. 10-odd tribulation clouds drifted over from all directions and gathered above Yin Songming's head. This was the divine lightning eye that Xiao Chun took the opportunity to execute. Yin Songming's expression immediately changed drastically as he quickly landed. He cultivated a demonic Tao cultivation technique that contained death's mysteries. Yin Songming's body was filled with overwhelming sin, making him incredibly horrifying. He feared lightning tribulations the most, like heavenly punishment. Although the Flame Dragon army suffered severe losses below, it managed to regroup and retreat to the back. The Flood Dragon humans and the Rakshasa race army chased closely. However, the distance between them slowly widened. The Demon Blood Vulture casually chose a direction. Its entire body gave off a scarlet light, and an indistinct golden light appeared in its eyes. The Demon Blood Vulture did its best to carry Xiao Chun and Murong Yin through the clouds. Chapter 1907. Boom! Amid loud sounds, 10 lightning tribulations layered over each other and landed on Yin Songming. Most of the tribulation thunder's might was blocked by his powerful cultivation, but the sin that it detonated left him in so much pain that he wished he were dead. Dense dragon scales appeared on Yin Songming's face. That scar looked even more horrifying, and his eyes gave off a demonic light. His expression was distorted by the pain, his thoughts were in chaos, and his mind was on the verge of going berserk. His entire body exuded a terrifying sin. The sin had almost materialized and was constantly tormenting him. Young master, the many Flood Dragon humans noticed Yin Songming's strange behavior and quickly flew over. When they landed beside him, they revealed worried expressions. The berserk Yin Songming's entire body surged with murderous intent. However, when he looked at his fellow Flood Dragon humans in the surroundings, he felt a chill run down his spine. He forcefully clenched his teeth, and his eyes slowly regained clarity. This person's willpower was truly terrifyingly strong. He was actually able to persevere through such a terrifying, sinful backlash with his willpower. Pa! A few flood dragon humans had just gone over to support the pale Yin Sangming when the Rakshasa race's sovereign personage, Wu Ting, descended and threw a slap. A crisp sound rang out as Yin Sangming crashed to the ground. Half his face swelled up, and blood leaked out of a corner of his lips. Hee, a scheme that transcends the heavens. In the end, Rakshasa Tion's clone was killed, and the flame dragon army fled. No one knew if the stronghold could be defended or not. Yin Sangming, you can forget about having your own conferred land. You're just a bunch of lowly dragons. You should just kneel before me. Wu Ting was clearly enraged. Rakshasa Tion's clone had been killed in his stronghold. Naturally, he would become the laughingstock of the Rakshasa race. In the worst-case scenario, he might even be attacked by his own clansmen. If they could wipe out the Flame Dragon Army and occupy the Flame Dragon Army's headquarters, everything would be fine. However, although the Flame Dragon Army suffered heavy losses, they still had their combat prowess. If they returned to defend, it would be impossible to take down Flame Dragon City. He had paid such a huge price, but in the end, it was all for naught, and he had even gotten himself into a lot of trouble. How could he not be angry? The rage of a sovereign personage caused a group of flood dragon humans to tremble. They worried that Wu Ting would take their lives in a fit of rage. Kneel properly for your father and slap your own face. Pa pa pa. Yin Sangming did not say anything. He just knelt on the ground and continuously slapped himself. Even when his cheeks were red and swollen, and he spat out a mouthful of blood, he did not stop. My lord. The black-armored Rakshasa demon slowly descended and arrived beside Wu Ting. Then he said softly, I received news that the Golden Crow Empire's people rushed over. It looks like they are interested in the Dragon's Gate stronghold that we occupied. Wu Ting immediately became enraged. He sent out a palm wind infused with the will of a sovereign personage and knocked Yin Sangming into the air. Retreat, abandon the stronghold. The black-armored Rakshasa demon glanced at Yin Sangming and snorted coldly before leaving with Wu Ting. Young master. Seeing the two leave, the others quickly helped Yin Sangming up, their eyes filled with worry. Yin Sangming clenched his right fist tightly. His sharp nails dug into his flesh, causing blood to seep out. I'm fine. Let's clean up the corpses of our clansmen and leave. But where could he go? This enormous first netherworld was like a dark forest. Killing intent was everywhere. It seemed vast and boundless, but there was no place for the flood dragon humans to stand. Slowly, he loosened his grip, and the anger and killing intent in his heart calmed down. He could only hide his obsession in the deepest part of his heart and never forget it. Looking around, the lava sea was filled with the corpses of flood dragon humans. Actually, not many of the Rakshasa race had died. After a while, most of the flood dragon humans' corpses were cleaned up. Only the corpses of the dragon race cultivators, which no one cared about, and the Rakshasa demon corpses remained on the battlefield. The Flame Dragon Legion was indeed well-trained. They were much more efficient than the Rakshasa demons and flood dragon humans. By giving them an opening, the Flame Dragon Legion could instantly resolve the situation and preserve most of their strength. However, there would not be such an opening in the plan. A white-clad bladesman, standing on a demon blood vulture, slowly appeared before Yin Sangming's eyes. For hours later, the army returned to their positions in Flame Dragon City, and the entire city was under martial law. A suppressive atmosphere spread throughout the entire city. Since the Flame Dragon Legion was formed, it had never suffered such a setback. If not for Xiao Chen's sudden appearance, an opening alone, the consequences would have been dire. General, the Golden Crow Empire's army moved out. The Flood Dragon humans and Rakshasa demons both retreated. Before he could sit down, he received a message. General Feng sighed. There was no way to reclaim the stronghold. The Golden Crow Empire's army must have received news and moved. If it were General Feng, he would not let go of such an opportunity, either. However, it was still acceptable. He could go and negotiate with them. Perhaps he could pay a price and reclaim the stronghold. After all, they were still allies in name. Pass down my orders. Search for Xiao Chun and the others with everything we have. Send them back to the city. Yes, the army had left in a hurry, so they could not care about Xiao Chun, Wei Hongfei, and the others. They could only pray that these dragon race elites had great luck and avoided this calamity. 3 days later, the demon blood vulture carried the perfectly fine Xiao Chun and Murong Yin back to Flame Dragon City. After escaping danger that day, the two did not immediately rush to Flame Dragon City. As a precaution, they found a secluded place and started to cultivate. The two were severely injured. They made up their minds not to come out until they fully recovered. In the end, the two spent 3 days recovering to their peak states. Murong Yin patted the demon blood vulture's back and smiled. Xiao Chun, this demonic pet of yours is pretty good. When can you help me get one as well? This was the first time Silly Bird was praised. Xiao Chun thought for a while before saying, there should be a chance. Its father is the demon blood vulture's race head. We can go and ask in the future. Don't mention my father. I get angry at the mention of him. The demon blood vulture protested in Xiao Chen's heart. This made sense. Only Xiao Chen's demon blood vulture could be sold by its father. When Murong Yin heard that, he rejoiced. Really? Really? However, we will have to wait for an opportunity, Xiao Chen replied casually with a smile. After surviving a series of huge battles, the two felt somewhat relaxed. We've arrived. Whoosh! Flame Dragon City's silhouette appeared in the two's vision. Then, they leaped up and landed firmly on the ground. The moment the two landed, a group of Flame Dragon Legion cultivators immediately appeared and surrounded them. After the earlier battle, Flame Dragon City's security was now several times tighter than before. Xiao Chun. It really is Xiao Chun. When this group of Flame Dragon Legion cultivators saw Xiao Chen's appearance, they immediately revealed joyful smiles. The leader of the group said respectfully, Young Master Xiao, the general has been searching for you for many days already. He thought that something happened to you. Come. Come back to the city with us. Completely ignored, Murong Yin said unhappily, Hey, I'm still here. Ha! Young Master Murong, come with us. The general did not forget about you, either. In mere moments, the news of Xiao Chun and Murong Yin returning to the city spread throughout the entire army. Everywhere the two passed, nearly every cultivator fixed their gaze on Xiao Chun and Murong Yin. Now, everyone knew that a genius appeared in the Heaven Dragon Palace, who killed Rakshasa Tion's clone with one saber strike. After that, Xiao Chun nearly single-handedly opened a gap for the Flame Dragon Legion, saving the lives of more than 10,000 Flame Dragon Legion cultivators. This meant that every cultivator in the Flame Dragon Legion owed Xiao Chun and Murong Yin a favor. General Feng and the other Flame Dragon Legion upper echelon personally came out to welcome them at the city gates. Back then, when Xiao Chun first arrived, everyone in the Flame Dragon Legion doubted his ability to take on heavy responsibilities. Now, Xiao Chen's famed sword. Everyone knew about the white-clad bladesman who killed Rakshasa Tion's clone with one saber strike, saving the Flame Dragon Legion from destruction. Xiao Chun, Murong Yin, this time, it is all thanks to the two of you. The entire Flame Dragon Legion owes you a favor. General Feng did not put on any airs, directly acknowledging Xiao Chen's contributions. Murong Yin accepted this praise without standing on ceremony. When he discovered Wei Hongfei beside General Feng, he was greatly startled. Brat, you are actually not dead? Didn't I personally see you being flung into the lava? Wei Hongfei frowned. Anyone who heard this would feel upset. General Feng replied calmly. The Golden Dragon Palace's core disciples all have an Emperor Dragon pill personally nourished by the Dragon Emperor. They will not die that easily. After Wei Hongfei explained, he looked at Xiao Chun and said softly, It is indeed shocking that the Heaven Dragon Palace can produce someone like you. Brother Wei, you are too polite. Xiao Chun nodded slightly. This Wei Hongfei was pretty good. Xiao Chun had seen how Wei Hongfei held back, Yin-Tsangming at the risk of his life. General Feng said softly, Let's stop with the conventional greetings first. The 5 of you come with me. I'll finish your mission. Chapter 1908. Xiao Chun followed General Feng into the inner hall. After the four sat down, General Feng clapped his hands. Someone immediately came over and offered the extra rewards that Wei Hongfei and the others requested. Wei Hongfei showed no joy on his face. He waved his hand and said, "There's no need. We barely managed to complete this mission. Flame Dragon City's essence is also damaged. Give it to our injured brothers. The Golden Dragon Palace does not lack this bit of resources." The moment General Feng said that, Lu Feng and the other White Dragon Palace Corps disciples felt somewhat embarrassed. However, this made sense. When they thought about the Flame Dragon Legion's losses, they recalled the dragon race cultivators who died in the sea of lava. The cruel scene appeared before his eyes as soon as he recalled it. The miserable screams of the dragon race still lingered in their ears. Surging blood chi spread for 5,000 kilometers around. Lu Feng and the White Dragon Palace Corps disciples chose to give up. General Feng said softly, "There's no need to feel guilty. This mission was a failure on my part. Everyone completed it excellently. All the extra rewards came from my own pocket and have nothing to do with the Legion. Furthermore, it is not that there is no good news. The Rakshasa race army suffered heavy losses as well. The Golden Crow Empire has already taken back their stronghold. I already negotiated with their leader. For the next 10 years, they will get 20% of the stronghold's resources. The stronghold will still belong to our dragon race. Soon, we will raise the dragon race's war flag there. At the very least, when the dragon's gate's might is displayed, all the factions of the underground world will know about it. Without the Flame Dragon Legion fighting a bitter battle, causing the Rakshasa race army to suffer heavy losses, the Golden Crow Empire would not have such an easy pickup. Hence, you have completed your mission excellently." Even though the four were not willing to accept the extra rewards, General Feng still forcefully gave them, keeping to his promise. The Golden Crow Empire? Xiao Qin muttered to himself. Then he recalled something. Ao Jiao and Little Yellow Feather seemed to have gone to the Golden Crow Empire. Xiao Qin had known long ago that Little Yellow Feather was slowly recovering the memories that his ancestors had passed on to him. Back then, Ao Jiao had said that she would send Little Yellow Feather to his old home. The scenes of the past on Grave Island flashed before Xiao Qin's eyes. After that night of romance, there was no more news of Ao Jiao and Little Yellow Feather. Xiao Qin followed his original heart and searched for the moon step by step. Where was Ao Jiao? Could it be in the Golden Crow Empire? Yes, the Golden Crow Empire, one of the 8 great empires of the Central Great Realm. 3 years ago, the Golden Crow Empire became the most famous empire among the 8 great empires. The legendary ancestor of the Golden Crow actually reappeared. This is truly shocking. At the mention of the Golden Crow Empire, General Feng sighed with emotion. A pure-blooded Golden Crow had actually descended into the Golden Crow Empire. This was simply like a legend. The entire Golden Crow Empire was in an uproar, and even the entire vast Thousand Domains were in an uproar. One must know that the so-called Dragon Clan and the other primordial races were not pure-blooded. However, humans with ancient bloodlines could only be considered descendants of the dragon race. Even the 6-color divine dragons were the same. Little Yellow Feather's appearance in the Golden Crow Empire was like a pure-blooded ancestor dragon descending to the divine dragon empire. The commotion it caused was naturally imaginable. General Feng could still remember that the upper echelons of the dragon sect were all shocked when they received this news. They even sent out a large number of people to search for the ancestor dragon of the dragon clan. In the end, they returned empty-handed. The dragon race was not like the Golden Crow or the Vermilion Bird, which could undergo nirvanic rebirth and pass down their memories to the next generation. It was practically impossible. When Xiao Chun heard General Feng's words, his expression did not change. However, he felt shocked in his heart. Indeed, it was as he expected. On the other hand, Wei Hongfei, Lu Feng, and the others showed calm expressions. They had known about this long ago, having been shocked back then. "General Feng, might I ask how that Golden Crow appeared?" Xiao Chun asked softly, unable to suppress the questions in his heart. The others gave Xiao Chan strange looks, expressing their confusion. To think that Xiao Chan did not know about such a major matter. This stunned Xiao Chan. He knew that he had asked the wrong question. Given his fake identity, he should know about this. Xiao Chan could only add, "Back then, I left the central great realm to hide from my enemies. I only rushed back after obtaining some fortuitous encounters." General Feng nodded. "No wonder. However, there is no harm in telling you. Back then, the Golden Crow Empire offered sacrifices and divined that the Golden Crow ancestor would appear. Even they did not believe it, so they divined it many times before informing the Golden Crow Empire's upper echelon. This continued until the Golden Crow Empire's faux god ancestor, who had been in closed-door cultivation for many years, suddenly came out. Then, before everyone's incredulous gazes, he respectfully appeared with a pure-blooded golden crow and a young girl, causing the entire empire to stir. Speaking of which, it was rather mystical. That young girl was naturally beautiful without any makeup. Her face was exquisite, her lips and teeth fresh, and her bright eyes hid dimples. However, her bloodline was ordinary. She sat on the pure-blooded golden crow openly, not showing any fear at all. You should know that even that faux god ancestor does not dare to look the pure-blooded golden crow in the eye. Xiao Chan could not help thinking, it would be strange if it showed fear. She was the one who raised it. Back then, that little yellow feather did not even care about him, its master and name. It liked sticking to Ao Jiao. However, if the Golden Crow Empire's people knew that Ao Jiao named the supreme holy beast in their eyes little yellow feather, they would probably die from anger. Now that the Golden Crow Empire's people mentioned the Golden Crow Empire, they still felt somewhat shocked when they recalled the past. Murong Yen, who sat beside Xiao Chun, said, "I know about this. That young girl calls herself Ao Jiao. I heard that she is incredibly beautiful, comparable to our White Dragon Holy Daughter." The White Dragon Palace Core disciple immediately felt upset. How can she compare to our White Dragon Holy Daughter? Our White Dragon Holy Daughter has a grade 7 bloodline. She has an innate dragon soul and is crystalline and flawless. In terms of aura and beauty, she is unparalleled, capable of toppling nations. How could she compare? Seeing Murong Yan's serious expression, Murong Yan's lips curled up. He whispered, "I'm just saying. You make it sound like the White Dragon Holy Daughter is your home. Xiao Chun, don't you think so?" Xiao Chun felt stunned, but he did not say anything. It seemed like both of them were his. Even that golden crow was hatched by Xiao Chen's heavenly flame. Of course, Xiao Chen would definitely not say this out loud. Wei Hongfei thought for a while before saying, "The Golden Crow Empire has the Divine Flame Church as its national religion. I recall that young girl was conferred the title of Solar Divine Daughter." General Feng smiled and said, "Indeed. There's a rumor in the Golden Crow Empire that their pure-blooded golden crow was brought out from the sun by the Solar Divine Daughter." Feeling somewhat depressed, Lu Feng asked, "Speaking of which, what benefits did this pure-blooded golden crow bring to the Golden Crow Empire?" General Feng replied sullenly, "The benefits were too great. Why else do you think the Golden Crow Empire's faux god ancestor personally came out of closed-door cultivation? Back then, I heard that there were many battles in secret. Many factions did not want the holy beast to return to the Golden Crow Empire. There were many top-notch figures who can't stop us. We almost couldn't make it back. If we're talking about intangible benefits, naturally, it is the increase in the nation's luck. You can see this just by looking at how strong the Golden Crow Empire has become in the past 3 years. As for tangible benefits, let me put it this way. If a pure-blooded ancestor dragon appears, all you need to do is take a look and your strength will increase by 20%. Wei Hongfei nodded and said, "There's a golden divine dragon statue that is said to be petrified in the Golden Dragon Palace. Back when I became a core disciple, I was allowed to cultivate under the statue for 3 days, and my strength increased by more than 30%. Many questions that were difficult to understand were suddenly enlightened. I really can't imagine the benefits of cultivating beside a living divine dragon." General Feng said, No matter what, a strong Golden Crow Empire is beneficial to our divine Dragon Empire. Although the 8 empires compete with each other, they help each other out and are allies in name. The stronger the Golden Crow Empire is, the more pressure the dynasties have to bear. The other empires will be better off too. The 8 empires were elite empires with the bloodlines of the great desolate Aeon's overlord. The 4 dynasties would have to be wary of them. If one looked further back, the conflicts between the dynasties and empires could be traced back to the beginning of the martial epic. Shao Chun, although you did not ask for any additional rewards, you have to accept my kind intentions. General Feng took out a separate box and handed it to Shao Chun before everyone. General Feng did not show any fear. However, Wei Hongfei and the others did not overthink it either. Be it chopping down Rakshasa Tion's clone with one saber strike or saving the Flame Dragon Legion at the last moment, Shao Chun was worthy of this valuable gift from General Feng. Shao Chun was worthy of the heavy gift that General Feng gave to him alone. Without any pleasantries, Shao Chun returned the gesture and took the box. Murong Yin smiled and said, "General, I contributed as well. Don't forget about me." "Naturally, I won't forget." General Feng smiled faintly and took out another gift, handing it to Murong Yin. When Murong Yin opened it, he immediately beamed with joy. That was a flame seed from the depths of the abyssal underworld. The Red Dragon race was innately skilled with fire. This great gift brought out the best in Murong Yin's heart. Shao Chun wanted to open his own box, but General Feng stopped him. He smiled and said, "Open it after we return to the Heaven Dragon Palace. I will not send everyone out of the city." Chapter 1909. The mission to recapture the stronghold was officially over. The surviving 5 all obtained a pretty good harvest. Just the mission reward was 20,000 primeval heavenly pills. Such a large number of primeval heavenly pills was a large sum even for the core disciples of the 6 color divine dragons. After leaving Flame Dragon City, Shao Chun, Wei Hongfei, and Murong Yin felt like a lifetime had passed. Before coming here, no one would have thought that a single mission would cause so many chain reactions. 2 of his clansmen had left them forever, dying in the midst of a mission. Furthermore, they had not expected Shao Chun to explode with such terrifying power. Originally, they had looked down on Shao Chun, thinking that he was a burden. "Shao Chun, it looks like you'll be a very strong competitor in the competition between the 7 outer palaces," Wei Hongfei said seriously as he looked at Shao Chun in his golden dragon robes. In the competition between the 7 outer palaces, the heaven-class core disciples of the various outer palaces would compete for the right to enter Ancestor Dragon City. The few of them were of the same opinion. With Shao Chun's strength, he should be able to easily become a heaven-class core disciple. However, my cultivation is still too low. The heaven-class core disciples of the various palaces are all extremely horrifying. Even the Heaven Dragon Palace is no exception. It has always been better to have nothing than to have something substandard. You have only joined the Heaven Dragon Palace for a short period of time. Wei Hongfei did not blindly flatter Shao Chun. He continued objectively. It should not be difficult to become a heaven-class core disciple. However, obtaining the right to enter Ancestor Dragon City is still too difficult. Actually, these words were true. The strength that Shao Chun displayed was far from sufficient to enter Ancestor Dragon City. But this time, what Shao Chun showed was mainly a kind of potential, a kind of feeling that made people's eyes light up. Shao Chun nodded, indicating that he understood. He wasn't arrogant enough to think so. Right now, Shao Chun could already sweep through the core disciples of the 7 outer palaces. As for the heaven-class core disciples, it would be even harder to say. Just the way Hongfei before him gave Shao Chun the feeling that he would not be easy to deal with. He was very strong. I hope to see you in the competition between the 7 outer palaces. It is not easy to become a heaven-class core disciple in the Golden Dragon Palace, Shao Chun said softly. Wei Hongfei smiled, and confidence flashed on his face. You will definitely be able to see me. Goodbye. The group took their leave. Soon, only Shao Chun and Murong Yin remained. Murong Yin said, "This fellow is right. If we want to enter Ancestor Dragon City, we have to work hard. Remember to come to the Red Dragon Palace in the future, if you have the chance. Murong Yin clapped Xiao Chen's shoulder and soared into the sky. The path ahead was boundless. Xiao Chen was still far from entering the ancestral Dragon Palace. Right now, he was thinking about the harvest of these 4 missions. Xiao Chen had obtained 10,000 primeval heavenly pills from killing Mu Yun, 8,000 primeval heavenly pills from the Blazing Sun Berserk Ape, 12,000 primeval heavenly pills from the Demonic Cloud Mountain 18 Great Bandits, and 20,000 primeval heavenly pills from snatching back the Gathering Point. Just the mission reward amounted to 50,000 primeval heavenly pills. To Xiao Chen, that was barely enough. He had not let down the effort he had put into this mission, as well as the danger of death. Especially the 4th mission. Now that he thought about it, he was lucky. The 2 dead clansmen were a little unfortunate. Apart from a mission reward, Xiao Chen also obtained a crystal box containing the wealth that the Demon Cloud Mountain bandits had accumulated over the years. The Golden Dragon Palace, Qin Outyin's Dragon Pattern Battle Suit, and Demonic Venerate Mu Yun's storage ring. There was also the mysterious box that General Feng had given him. He had gained a lot from this trip. After Xiao Chen returned, there was no need to think. He would immediately break through to late-stage Star Venerate and cultivate the Supreme Dragon Fist. Then, Xiao Chen would improve Firmament's rage further. With resources in hand, he had the confidence to do anything. What did General Feng give me? Do you want to take it apart and take a look? We'll take a look when we get back to the Heaven Dragon Palace. Let's take a look at this battle suit first. Xiao Chen took out the Dragon Pattern battle suit and put it on with a thought. Xiao Chen recalled that when Qin Outyin activated the battle suit, a lot of dragon chi surrounded it. The patterns on the battle suit all lit up. In the end, Xiao Chen tested it and discovered somewhat embarrassingly that he could not activate the battle suit. Only dragon race cultivators with the golden divine dragon bloodline could activate it. Could this be a Dao tool passed down in the clan? After Xiao Chen thought about it, he felt that this was possible. If that were the case, the requirements would be even stricter. Only the golden dragon bloodline's Qin clan could use it. Had Xiao Chen known, he would have snatched a few rings with different attributes. However, at that time, Xiao Chen thought that the owner of such an inherited Dao tool was either rich or of high status. There would definitely be an expert guarding in secret. Xiao Chen could not remain for long, so he left after snatching 1 battle suit. Now, it looked like he suffered a great loss. Shaking his head, Xiao Chen put away the battle suit, preparing to find an opportunity to sell it when he returned. Then he started to ponder the Demonic Cloud Mountain Bandit's crystal box. It was tightly packed and covered in formation patterns containing the Dao. If he was not careful, it might explode. Xiao Chen was not skilled in refining or formations. He frowned slightly, not knowing how to deal with it. The Heaven Dragon Palace is equal to a peak rank 6 sect. There should be someone skilled in this. At that time, I'll go and seek out the law enforcement hall's Vice Hall Masterly. Xiao Chen did not worry about the crystal box. There would definitely be a way to deal with it when he returned to the Heaven Dragon Palace. 7 days later, as Xiao Chen traveled at full speed, he finally returned to the Heaven Dragon Palace. Xiao Chen had completed 4 missions over the past 2 months. He had spent about 40 days going back and forth. There were still 20 days left for him to prepare for the Heaven Class Core Disciple competition. That was sufficient. I'll go to the law enforcement hall first. Xiao Chen's figure flashed, turning into a flash of electric light in the vast and boundless Heaven Dragon Palace. After 15 minutes, Xiao Chen arrived at the law enforcement hall. After reporting, he quickly received a reply. Vice Hall Master Li personally came out to welcome Xiao Chen. He walked over with a big smile and said, "Brother Xiao, ha ha ha. This old man knew that you would return on time. Indeed, you're not bad. You are much earlier than I expected. Did you complete the mission?" Vice Hall Master Li asked in a low voice as he walked over quietly. After all, Xiao Chen had to complete 4 rank 1 missions in such a short time. Vice Hall Master Li felt anxious for Xiao Chen. "If you did not complete it, I can help you think of a way. There is no need to worry about the sex punishment." Vice Hall Master Li was very forthright. He thought highly of Xiao Chen. As long as Xiao Chun said the word, he could help him resolve the problem. Xiao Chun smiled and said, "Thank you, Big Brother Li. Naturally, I completed the mission perfectly. With this mission reward, the Heaven-class Core Disciple competition 20 days later will definitely be mine." Excellent. Vishal Masterly felt slightly stunned when he heard that. Then, he praised, "You truly deserve to be the person that this old man thinks highly of. Come, I'll accompany you to the mission hall." Damn it. This old man has long found that damned administrator an eyesore. I'll show him that this old man's judgment is absolutely correct. I was thinking the same thing. Xiao Chun smiled faintly. Then, under Vishal Master Li's lead, they secretly arrived at the mission hall. When the administrator of the mission hall saw Xiao Chun and Vishal Master Li, his eyes lit up. He smiled and said, "Isn't this the core disciple Xiao Chun? Why are you back so early? Have you completed the mission?" "Vishal Master Li, it is not that I'm not giving you face. It is only right and proper to accept punishment for mission failure. The more failures, the heavier the punishment. Even I cannot change the sect rules." The administrator had a deep impression of Xiao Chun. Back then, Xiao Chun had taken 4 rank 1 missions in one go, putting him in a difficult position for a while. When the administrator saw that Xiao Chun had returned early with Vishal Master Li, he felt that he had failed the mission. The administrator wanted to ask Vishal Master Li to plead on his behalf and deceive him to avoid punishment. The administrator smiled coldly in his heart. "Who asked you not to listen to my advice back then, making things difficult for me? You also have times when you beg me." Xiao Chun and Vishal Master Li exchanged looks. Then, Vishal Master Li guffawed and said, "Who told you that they were not completed? Listen up. He has completed all 4 rank 1 missions." Xiao Chun even received a reward from the Flame Dragon Legion's commander. The expression of the mission hall administrator changed drastically despite himself. That's impossible. How could he have completed 4 rank 1 missions in such a short time? Give me the mission card and the proof of completing the missions as well. That's impossible. Xiao Qin calmly took out the heads of demonic venerate Mu Yun and the 18 great bandits, the Blazing Sun Berserk Apes Beast Core, and a mission card that General Feng had approved. As Xiao Chun verified the heads one by one, he confirmed that they were all real. The mission hall administrator's expression turned somewhat unsightly. When he heard the final mission card, General Feng's praise for Xiao Chun, the administrator's expression turned as unsightly as it could be. His expression was as ugly as it could be, and he still couldn't believe it. Vishal Masterly felt delighted. He smiled and said, "Stop wasting time. Quickly hand over my brother's reward." That's not right. Completing 4 major rank 1 missions at the same time is a rare occurrence. No matter what, there should be some bonus reward, right? This is a bit against the rules. Hall Masterly, the deacon of the mission hall, stuttered. Vishal Masterly snorted coldly. "Just do what I tell you to do. Do you think I don't know that after the rank 1 mission is completed, you idlers will also receive rewards from the Dragon Gate? Just give me 20%. Don't be so long-winded." The deacon of the mission hall felt bitter in his heart. He knew why Vishal Masterly had come here personally. He wasn't here to plead on behalf of Xiao Chun at all. It was because he had acted like a villain last time that he had angered the other party. This time, he was here for revenge. The Blood Dragon Guards are a bunch of bastards. The mission hall administrator cursed in his heart as he was forced to do as he was told. Chapter 1910. Vishal Masterly was a straightforward and righteous person. He directly increased Xiao Chen's reward by another 20%. 50,000 primeval heavenly pills. An increase of 20% meant 60,000 primeval heavenly pills. Obtaining an additional 10,000 primeval heavenly pills for no reason felt very good. After leaving the mission hall, Xiao Chun expressed his gratitude and stated the reason for his visit. "Big Brotherly, this is the crystal treasure chest I obtained from annihilating the demonic Cloud Mountain bandits. It is probably the wealth that the demonic Cloud Mountain bandits have accumulated over the years." Vishal Masterly received the crystal treasure chest and clicked his tongue in wonder. What an exquisite little thing. This old man actually can't figure it out in such a short time. After fiddling with the box for a while, before Xiao Chun could say anything, Weishall masterly smiled and said, "You want me to find a grandmaster to help you open this box?" "That's right. No matter what's in the box, I'm willing to give 20% of it to Brotherly." Weishall masterly laughed heartily and said, "There's no point in talking about this. The demonic Cloud Mountain bandits aren't even worthy of my attention. I think highly of you because you have a high chance of becoming a heaven dragon in Ancestor Dragon City." Heaven dragon? I often hear these two words. What exactly is a heavenly dragon? Xiao Chen asked, feeling confused. Weishall masterly smiled and said, "The heaven dragon is a kind of transformation, a kind of leap, breaking out of the cocoon to become a butterfly, washing away all the impurities and becoming a legend. The heaven dragon is a legendary existence that surpasses the divine dragons. It is extremely terrifying. You might not understand what I'm saying. Do you see the statue of the heaven dragon standing on the peak of the mountain that looks like it's soaring through the clouds? It's right there." Weishall masterly said as he pointed at a statue standing on a mountain peak in the distance. Looking in the direction of his finger, Xiao Chun saw the statue. It was a statue of a giant dragon that could be felt from far away. The entire statue was incomparably long, occupying the peak of the mountain. The mountain was tens of thousands of zhang tall, and its peak was vast and surrounded by clouds and mist. The clouds moved with the wind, and the statue hidden inside seemed to be alive. The heaven dragon bloodline is a mutated bloodline of the dragon race that cannot be inherited. In the Great Desolate Era, the heaven dragon actually existed, but its bloodline could not be passed down. In theory, a divine dragon could also mutate into a heaven dragon, but it had never happened before. Without experiencing the hardships of the lowest level, it's impossible to complete this sublimation and become a heaven dragon. Weishall masterly said leisurely. There was a hint of yearning in his words. The heaven dragon could only be a legend. Are there any warriors with the heaven dragon bloodline in the dragon clan now? Xiao Chen asked. Nope. The probability of a heaven dragon appearing was too low. Once it appeared, the dragon clan would definitely prosper. Actually what? I shouldn't be saying this to you, but it doesn't matter. This old man doesn't have that many scruples. 25 years ago, my heaven dragon palace gave birth to a genuine heaven dragon. However, this person only appeared for a brief moment before his Taoist rhyme disappeared. Dead? Indeed, he died. When I was very young, I found him somewhat strange. Indeed, it was not strange. To think that the first thing he did after becoming a heaven dragon was to challenge the current dragon emperor. If that is not seeking death, what is? Weishall masterly seemed to know that person. When he mentioned that person, his tone contained heavy sorrow. Even though Weishall masterly purposely hid it, Xiao Chun could still sense it. Speaking of which, he was the one who created the supreme dragon fist that you chose. What? This startled Xiao Chun. His normally calm heart could not help rippling. He recalled that the martial technique pavilion disciple who led him there back then did not say this. Weishall masterly smiled and said, he was the one who created the supreme dragon fist. However, because of what happened 25 years ago, the supreme dragon fist was created by him. However, because of what happened 25 years ago, the dragon race sealed up his deeds. Not everyone knows about it. Hence, sometimes everything is preordained by the heavens. You were the one who chose that secret manual. Xiao Chen thought to himself, I am a blue dragon, a bona fide divine dragon bloodline. It is probably impossible for me to become a heaven dragon. I will have to disappoint Weishall masterly. After saying goodbye to Weishall masterly, Xiao Chun walked down the peak alone. Xiao Chun was still thinking about his conversation with Weishall masterly. To think that the supreme dragon fist was created by the heaven dragon who fought with the dragon emperor. Xiao Chun had not expected it. It was no wonder Zhang Xian felt that this fist art was disgraceful and unorthodox at first glance. The vast and mighty group of dragons roamed the world, entering the sky and the sea. Who was honored? The group of dragons was leaderless in the 4 seas and 8 desolate lands. The world was unfair, and the evil dragon ruled. Who was honored? Luck was not on your side, and your life was as thin as paper. What was supreme? In the world, only I was honored. The incantation for the supreme dragon fist echoed in Xiao Chen's mind. His thoughts drifted somewhat. It looked like Xiao Chen had to practice this fist technique properly. The fact that it was created by the Heaven Dragon was definitely true. Vicehall Masterly had also said that the Divine Dragon bloodline could give birth to a Heaven Dragon. Xiao Chen might have a chance. He wondered if there would be any difference between the transformation of the Blue Dragon bloodline into the Heaven Dragon bloodline and the transformation of an ordinary bloodline into the Heaven Dragon bloodline. Xiao Chen. Just as Xiao Chen's thoughts wandered, a startled cry startled him to his senses. When Xiao Chen raised his head to look at the newcomer, he felt slightly stunned. After a while, he showed an expression of understanding. Zhang Yinxian. Before Xiao Chen came out of closed-door cultivation, Zhang Yinxian had forced him to make a move and ended up being beaten up like a dead dog. Coincidentally, Xiao Chen had just returned, and he ran into Zhang Yinxian again. Xiao Chen, how bold of you. The law enforcement hall grounded you, and you actually sneaked out. When Zhang Yinxian saw Xiao Chen, he also felt stunned. After he saw clearly, he could not help smiling coldly in his heart. What great Xiao Chen! Is it not enough for the law enforcement hall to teach you a lesson? You even dare to sneak out after being grounded? Quickly go and call the Blood Dragon guards over. I'll delay him. After violating the sect rules and being punished, he still dares to sneak out. Xiao Chen, no one can save you today. Zhang Yinxian smiled coldly as he looked at Xiao Chen. Then, he quickly left with his friends to inform the Blood Dragon guards. Suddenly, Xiao Chen recalled that he had indeed been placed in confinement. Back then, Vicehall Masterly had said that he had been imprisoned. Back then, Vicehall Masterly had said that Zhang Yinxian would give him a random punishment and not show himself for now. Xiao Chen had forgotten. However, does it matter? It does not. Xiao Chen raised his hand and punched at Zhang Yinxian. After the tempering of a few missions, Zhang Yinxian was no longer as weak as before. Xiao Chen's cultivation had stabilized, and his horizons had widened. He had accumulated a lot of experience. When Xiao Chen punched, the attack was sharp. The fist wind contained 30 cauldron force and a boundlessly sharp saber move. Xiao Chen raised his feet slightly, and 2 Dao discs appeared behind him. Winds blew and clouds surged. This time, Zhang Yinxian was on guard, guarding against Xiao Chen. When he saw Xiao Chen make a move, he smiled and said, "I was waiting for you to make a move." However, when the fist wind approached, a vast might pressed down. The sharp fist wind immediately stifled Zhang Yinxian. Zhang Yinxian immediately regretted his actions. He could not receive this punch at all. He had to dodge the instant he made his move. However, the fist wind had already arrived, and he could not retreat. Bang! The punch sent Zhang Yinxian flying amid a loud sound. After he landed, he moved back continuously. Bang! 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 Using Thunder Dragon steps, Xiao Chen's entire body flickered with electric light. Saber winds danced, and fist lights flew endlessly. Xiao Chen threw punch after punch. With every punch, blood leaked out of Zhang Yinxian's mouth. After 10 punches, Zhang Yinxian could no longer hold back. He vomited a large mouthful of blood and crashed to the ground. Ha! Just as Zhang Yinxian was about to get up, Xiao Chen stomped heavily on him. Senior Brother Zhang, the Blood Dragon guards are here. The Blood Dragon guards are here. At the crucial moment, reinforcements arrived. Zhang Yinxian, who was under Xiao Chen's foot, could not help laughing loudly. Xiao Chen, your death date is here. Let's see how you deal with the upcoming Heaven-class Core Disciple selection after being captured by the Blood Dragon guards. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows. Then, his gaze fell on the 4 Blood Dragon guards in the air, and a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. When the 4 Blood Dragon guards saw Xiao Chen, they all showed startled expressions. Before they came, they had not heard that the person who broke the sect rules was Xiao Chen. This was especially so when they felt Xiao Chen's gaze. They felt a chill. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Blood Dragon guards landed on the ground and walked over to Xiao Chen and Zhang Yinxian. It's him. He left the confinement room and violated the rules of the sect. Today, he even injured a fellow disciple, adding to his crimes. When Zhang Yinxian saw the blood dragon guards walk over, the smile on his face widened. He pointed at Xiao, Chun, and shouted, "Senior Marshal Brother, you've worked hard. Leave this person to us." "Not at all, not at all." Zhang Yinxian chuckled. However, he immediately felt that something was amiss. Those words were not directed at him. A core disciple, Zhang Yinxian, deliberately attacked a fellow disciple, Xiao Chun. He has a bad influence and is now being taken away according to the sect rules. Without saying a word, the 4 blood dragon guards each struck out with a palm strike, knocking Zhang Yinxian unconscious. Then, they worked together to raise him. The leader of the blood dragon guards looked at Xiao Chun and said, "Senior brother Xiao, goodbye." The disciples who came with Zhang Yinxian were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Why did nothing happen to Xiao Chun, but senior brother Zhang was taken away? What a joke! How could the blood dragon guards dare to offend Xiao Chun now? Everyone knew that he had Vice Hall Masterly backing him. They would be lucky if they didn't beat them up instead.